Chapter 821. This time, Huamin felt even more awkward. She really couldn't bring herself to say it in front of 3 or 4 gynecologists. Is it a gynecological disease? Seeing that she was embarrassed to speak, one of the doctors asked straightforwardly. Huamin quickly waved her hand. No, no. Then are you pregnant? Another doctor asked, knowing that Huamin was married. Huamin gritted her teeth and said directly, Actually, I wanted to get checked because I haven't been pregnant since I got married. Infertility? Huamin, Dr. Hua, come in first. Seeing how awkward Huamin was, a doctor led her in. How long have you been married? More than half a year. We got our marriage certificate in April. It's almost November now, Huamin replied. So short? That's fine. Under normal circumstances, we only diagnose infertility if you've been married for more than 1.5 to 2 years. But I'm not sure, so I wanted to get checked. What about your husband? He needs to be checked as well. You can't be the only one. My husband has been checked, he's fine. I suspect it's my problem. Huamin slowly said, Oh, I see. Okay then, let's do a basic gynecological examination to see if your gynecological disease is serious. Then, we'll do a blood test to see the value of your uterus and your fallopian tubes. That one will hurt a little. Are you okay? No problem. Huamin nodded. Just like that, Huamin asked for a few hours off from Director Li and did a detailed examination in the gynecology department of the hospital. The final result was that there was no gynecological disease. It was clean. There was no problem with the blood test either. It was normal. The fallopian tubes were a little painful, and they couldn't use anesthetics. Huamin endured the pain and did it. The results were normal. Both fallopian tubes were unobstructed. Dr. Hua, there's nothing wrong with you. Everything is normal. Finally, the gynecologist did an ultrasound to check the condition of her uterus. How is it, Dr. Lu? He asked the slightly older and experienced Dr. Lu. She was a woman in her 40s and was a very nice person. The posterior position of the uterus? This is a little more difficult than the anterior position of the uterus. So I suggest that you put a pillow under your buttocks when you have sex in the future. This will help you get pregnant. Huamin, also, there's some blood clot in your uterus. It's a cold uterus? It's not easy for you to get pregnant, but it's not a big problem. You'd better take some Chinese medicine to recuperate. Alright, I got it. Huamin nodded and walked out of the gynecology department with a heavy heart. When she was in university, she used cold water to wash her clothes in the winter. Huamin was a northerner. Every winter in Sea City, the lowest temperature was -20 degrees Celsius. It wasn't convenient to boil water in school, so she might have caught a cold after using cold water for a long time. But as long as it wasn't too serious, it wouldn't be a problem. After the fallopian tubes were flushed, her entire lower abdomen was swollen and painful. Huamin walked very slowly. She took the test report and slowly returned to her office. She didn't look well either. It wasn't easy for a woman to get pregnant. With the increasing use of chemical pesticides on fruits and vegetables, many couples didn't have babies. Some even wanted to try IVF. The only place in the city that could do IVF was Southside Recuperation Center. The price was as high as 100,000 yuan. It was said that the success rate was 55%, which was already very high. Huamin once took care of an IVF mother when she worked in the OB/GYN department at the first hospital. It was really tough. She had transplanted 3 embryos and 2 of them survived. In the end, she gave birth prematurely at 7 months and gave birth to a pair of twins. The babies were very small and pitiful. They stayed in the incubator for a full month. If you don't raise your own child, you won't know how much your parents love you. Many women love their mothers even more after they become mothers. Qin Chu got off work early today, so he drove over to pick up Huamin. Then he noticed that his wife didn't look well and she sounded a little weak. What's wrong? Are you not feeling well? Qin Chu looked at Huamin's side profile and asked. No. Huamin forced a smile. There was still a faint pain in her lower abdomen. Impossible. She couldn't hide anything from Qin Chu. He knew her too well. Tell me, what's wrong? Qin Chu's tone was domineering. Chapter 822. It's actually nothing. All right, I have good news for you, we're both fine. Qin Chu, you don't believe me? Really? I'll tell you, but don't yell at me. I secretly hid your thing yesterday and went to test its survival rate today. Qin Chu, the results showed that you're fine. I did a full body checkup myself, and there's nothing wrong with me. The doctor said that my body is cold, so I have to pay attention to warming my womb. I'll be fine after taking some Chinese medicine. I'll have a baby soon. What kind of checkup did you do? Qin Chu asked. It's those messy examinations. What did they say? Qin Chu was also a medical student, so he wouldn't be so easily brushed off by Huamin. You wouldn't understand even if I told you. I did an ultrasound, a basic gynecological examination, a routine blood test, and tubal drainage. Tubal drainage? Huamin, are you crazy? Qin Chu slammed on the brakes and stopped the car on the side of the road. Huamin was shocked. It's just a small checkup, why are you so nervous? Huamin said guiltily. You think I don't know anything, don't you? Qin Chu looked at her coldly. Huamin lowered her head guiltily. Tubal drainage, why did you do it? Don't you know how painful it is? You can't even use anesthetics, and it's considered a minimally invasive procedure. How could you do it? Are you crazy? This was the first time Qin Chu had spoken so loudly to Huamin. Qin Chu understood the theory behind this checkup. The fallopian tubes were two tubes next to the uterus. They were used to send sperm and eggs together to achieve fertility. If these two tubes were blocked, the woman wouldn't be able to get pregnant. Some people had one-sided blockages, so their chances of getting pregnant were lower. The fallopian tube is to use two thin tubes to connect to the fallopian tube and then draw water into it to see if the water is circulating inside. If the water is flowing, it proves that there is no blockage. If it is not flowing, it means that there is a blockage. This was a rather cruel method because they couldn't use anesthetics. They could only watch helplessly as the pain was excruciating. It was better if it worked, but it was said that those who didn't work would suffer a fate worse than death every time they drew water in. Even for someone like Huamin, who had an unobstructed flow, his lower abdomen still hurt after the water was drained. The pain was 10 times more intense than menstrual cramps when she was on her period. Qin Chu was angry because Huamin had humiliated himself. Under normal circumstances, no one would be willing to do such a perverted examination unless they had no other choice. Honey, don't be so agitated, I'm really fine. Huamin explained in a low voice. You never discuss anything with me, right? Qin Chu asked coldly. No, I just don't think it's a good idea to ask about something as trivial as the gynecology department. You're so busy every day. Your matters have never been a small matter to me, but you actually don't understand. Qin Chu laughed self-deprecatingly, but I'm doing this for our future children. If you have to suffer, then I'd rather not have children for the rest of my life. You're enough for me. Honey. Huamin could tell that Qin Chu was angry, so she immediately tried to comfort him. Qin Chu didn't say anything and turned his head away. Honey, I like babies. I really want a baby of our own. But you can't go through all this on your own, Qin Chu insisted. Okay, I won't do it in the future. You want a future? Qin Chu was furious. No, that's not what I meant. I'm saying that I'll listen to you from now on. After Qin Chu drove Huamin back to her mother's home at Sky Blessing Court, Qin Chu drove away. He didn't seem to be in a good mood. Honey, you need to go out. I have something to do, I'll pick you up later. Okay, why did brother-in-law leave? Jing Jixin was curious that Qin Chu didn't stay for dinner. He seems to be mad at me. Huamin pouted. I'm curious, what could make someone as mild-tempered as brother-in-law angry? Did you find a mistress? Jing Jixin looked at his sister and asked jokingly. Chapter 8:23. Jing Jixin, I'm going to slap you in the face. Huamin looked at his little brother in frustration. How dare he accuse her of cheating on him? I'm just kidding, don't get so worked up. Forget it, you're just a kid, you wouldn't understand even if I told you. Huamin carefully walked to the sofa in the living room and sat down. At that moment, his mother walked out of the kitchen and prepared a bowl of sweet soup for Huamin. "Mom, we're done with the checkup, we're fine, you don't have to worry about us," Huamin said as he held onto the bowl of soup. "Did you get the checkup today?" Yang Meirong was very happy. Huamin nodded. "Yeah, my body is a little cold, so they said that I'll be fine after taking some Chinese medicine." "Chinese medicine? That's easy, your Auntie Wu and I used to go to a Chinese medicine doctor. It's passed down from generation to generation. They're really good, all 3 generations of their family are Chinese medicine doctors, and the oldest one is 80 years old. They're really good at reading pulses. I heard that they can tell the gender of a 2-month pregnant woman." "Mom, what day and age are we living in? You still believe in that?" Huamin couldn't help but laugh. "It's true. I've been there already, your Auntie Wu's myocardial ischemia was cured there. Anyway, don't worry, I'll go get you some Chinese medicine when you get some rest." "Mom, I'm a doctor too. If you have a cold womb, you can just eat some brown sugar, longan, and lotus seeds. It's called diet therapy." "I don't want to eat Chinese medicine right now, it tastes awful." "Even if it tastes awful, you still have to eat it. It's a deal then." Before Huamin could say anything, her mother already made the decision for her. Qin Chu drove straight to Seductive Fox. The truth was, he was going to eat with Huamin before going to find Rick. However, his wife's methods were truly infuriating. She actually did such a cruel checkup on Huamin's fallopian tubes. Looking at her weak and pale face, Qin Chu's heart ached. He didn't want to stay by her side for a second longer, so he decided to talk to Rick about it. Qin Chu's Maybach was parked downstairs. He was seen by Tang Chuan, Su Yu, and the others who came to drink. Ever since Wei Liao got together with Jiang Xiaowei, Wei Liao's upbringing was very strict. Wei Liao basically didn't participate in this kind of eating, drinking, and fooling around. Su Yu rarely came out. This time, it was Tang Chuan who came back from abroad and brought a few friends over to have some fun. It seems to be Qin Chu's car. Hearing Tang Chuan's words, Su Yu glanced at the Maybach, but did not react, so he likes this kind of place too. I thought he was some kind of gentleman. Next time I see Huamin, I'm going to tell on him. I'm going to show her that her husband would go to this kind of place behind her back. Qin Chu has a close relationship with the boss of Seductive Fox. Don't worry about it. They're probably here to talk business. Su Yu said word by word. Bullshit, what kind of business can they talk about here? They're obviously here to drink and drink. Tang Chuan smiled. He went to a private room on the top floor with Su Yu and the others. Qin Chu sat in the VIP lounge and drank tea with Rick. Although Rick was of mixed French and Chinese descent, he had been here for many years and was very knowledgeable about China. She liked eating Chinese food and drinking tea. She also spoke Chinese very well. She could even understand idioms like baring fangs and brandishing claws. "Rick, you don't have to look into it anymore." "What's wrong?" Rick looked at Qin Chu. "I'll look into it myself." "It's too dangerous for you guys to look into it? Then isn't it more dangerous for you to look into it yourself?" Rick asked. Chapter 8:24. "No, if there was, we wouldn't have been able to escape unscathed last time." Qin Chu sipped his tea and said slowly. Rick froze slightly. Then he looked at Qin Chu and said, "You mean, they didn't do anything because it was you guys?" "That's probably it. I don't know if they were worried about Mian or me. I also don't know why they stopped us from investigating the truth. This is too weird, even the local gangsters don't want me to do anything. I don't think it's that simple either. This case involves a lot of things, including Mian's birth, the fire at the hospital, and Uncle Yang's death. It's all very strange. Plus, this is a case from many years ago, and a lot of people are involved. So, I've decided that even if your people go, they'll just die. They won't be able to find anything, so I might as well do it myself. But it's still very dangerous." Rick was a bit worried. "No matter what, I have to help Mian find her family. But, what if her family doesn't want to find her? What should we do? Have you thought about it?" Rick's words stunned Qin Chu. Yeah, they had ignored this problem. Huamin really wanted to find her biological parents. But what if her parents didn't want to find her at all? Then what was the point of finding them? What if they were a selfish person like He Zhenghai? Wouldn't that break He Min's heart? Let's leave it at that for now. Qin Chu was a bit tired, so he leaned back on the sofa and closed his eyes. Qin, you're different from when you were in the States. You're different. How am I different? Qin Chu didn't open his eyes. Back in the States, you were cold and heartless. My brothers said that you were born to be a killer. You had no flaws, but now I realize that you have too many flaws. One He Min is enough to kill you 100 times over. Rick was right. If anyone wanted to deal with Qin Chu, they could just capture He Min. There's nothing wrong with having flaws. Qin Chu slowly said. Your eyes are filled with undetectable emotions, especially when He Min is by your side. It seems like you really love her. He Min is my life. Without her, I can't live. Rick knew what Qin Chu meant. He Min was Qin Chu's life support. Without He Min, Qin Chu's life. Actually, this is pretty good. Sometimes I envy you. Rick smiled. You to meet someone like that. Don't. In my line of work, it's all about fighting and killing. I can lose my life at any moment. If I meet such a person, I'll only risk my life with him. SSSSSS to gives. That's. After speaking, Rick and Qin Chu looked at each other and smiled. When Qin Chu left Seductive Fox, he was going to pick up He Min from Sky Blessing Court. However, to his surprise, he received a call from Song Yisher. What's up? Mama Qin can be discharged. She said she's bored here and wants to go home. Can you come visit her? Song Yisher almost said, she's your mom, not mine. Shouldn't you come visit her? After replying with 3 simple words, Qin Chu drove to the first hospital. Song Yisher had already finished the discharge procedures. Xianxia paid for everything. I told her to use my card, but she wouldn't. Chu, you have to thank Xianxia. Lady Qin was smart today. Instead of scolding He Min, she told Qin Chu to focus on Song Yisher. How much is it? I'll transfer it to you right now. Qin Chu took out his phone. It's okay. Mrs. Qin treats me so well, this small amount of money is nothing. Of course, Song Yisher wouldn't accept it. Send me your bank account number, I don't like owing people favors. Qin Chu said faintly. Song Yisher was slightly taken aback. Chu, how can you say that? Xianxia isn't an outsider. Lady Qin was clearly unhappy with her son's coldness. It's okay, Mama Qin, I don't mind. Song Yisher smiled gently. Bank account. Qin Chu looked at her and repeated. Do we really have to be like this? Song Yisher was a little disappointed. Chapter 8:25. Qin Chu didn't say anything, however. His aura did make her feel pressured. In the end, upon seeing Qin Chu's insistence, Song Yisher had no choice but to send her bank account number to Qin Chu. How much did you spend? Less than 80,000 yuan, Song Yisher said in a low voice. 10 seconds later, there was a ding. Song Yisher received a bank notification on her cell phone. Why did you give me so much? Song Yisher looked up at Qin Chu when she saw the 100,000 yuan transfer. Thank you for taking care of me for the past few days. So, is the extra money a service fee? Song Yisher smiled bitterly. Qin Chu remained silent. Sure, since Chu is giving it to you, you should take it. Just think of it as a gift from him. It'd be a waste not to take it. Lady Qin tried to smooth things over. Let's go. Qin Chu picked up his mother and carefully placed her in the wheelchair. Then, the 3 of them went downstairs together. When they arrived at the Qin manor, the maids began preparing dinner. However, Qin Chu stood up to leave. Son, aren't you going to eat? Lady Qin yelled. No, I'm going to pick Mian up. Lady Qin's face immediately darkened upon hearing the words He Min. Song Yisher, on the other hand, stood up and said, I'll drive you home, I have something to talk to you about. Qin Chu nodded and walked out the door with Song Yisher following behind him. I didn't take good care of He Min at the party that day. I'm sorry that he got hurt. That's not your fault. My 2 friends were a little arrogant. They didn't mean to pick on He Min. There might have been some misunderstanding, but they did accidentally hurt He Min. I sincerely apologize to He Min on their behalf. It's all in the past. Don't mention it. Qin Chu rarely spoke nonsense, especially to people who had nothing to do with him. Is there anything else? Qin Chu looked at his watch. It was getting late. He still missed Huamin. Also, the other day, don't think too much about what I said. I heard it from someone else. Su Yu's reaction was a little too big. After the incident, he deliberately hit my friend's car. Everyone knows about it. I'm not trying to complain or anything, I just want to say that gossip is a fearful thing. You are all public figures, so you should be careful. You can tell Huamin not to meet Su Yu in the future, in case people start gossiping. Thank you for your advice. Qin Chu's tone was still indifferent. Then there's no problem. I believe those are just rumors. There's nothing going on between Su Yu and Huamin. They don't know each other that well, Qin Chu replied. Then he turned around and got into his car. He didn't want to waste time talking to Song Yisher. Song Yisher watched as the Maybach drove off into the distance. Her eyes sparkled with a strange light. She really wanted to see how long Qin Chu and Huamian's so-called unbreakable love could last when all the rumors were flying around. Back in the living room of the Qin manor, Lady Qin immediately complained, Sure, you're too nice. Why didn't you say a few words and ask Chu to stay for dinner? He's busy. Ooh, you're too sensible. You're such a silly child. You're not even 1/10 as scheming as Huamin. It's good to live a simple life. It's so tiring to be scheming all the time. After all, no one can live with a mask forever. You're right. I want to see how long Huamin, that little bitch, can keep up the pretense. Lady Qin said fiercely. Song Yisher only smiled slightly and didn't say anything. Ever since she came back to China, she didn't spend as much time at home as she did at the Qin manor. Lady Qin, this lonely old lady, had already made her the center of attention in her life. When Qin Chu arrived at Sky Blessing Court, he saw Huamin sleeping on the sofa as soon as he walked in. She looked like a little kitten. His gaze instantly softened. Brother-in-law, you're finally here. Hurry and take my sister away. I told her to sleep in the bedroom, but she refused. She said she wanted to wait for you here. Qin Chu nodded. Then he walked over and carefully picked up Huamin. Honey, you're here? Huamin asked as she rubbed her sleepy eyes and looked at Qin Chu. Chapter 8:26. Qin Chu didn't say anything. Instead, he carefully placed her on the passenger seat, then he put on the seatbelt for her. When they were closest to each other, Huamin closed her eyes and smelled Qin Chu's unique scent. She even impulsively licked his lips. Yes, please note that it wasn't a kiss or a bite, it was a lick. Mr. Qin's body trembled, and he didn't dare to move, even his hand that was holding onto the seatbelt paused. Honey, why do you smell so good today? Huamin smiled. Qin Chu. He ignored her and got into the driver's seat. Then he started the car and drove away. Honey, I haven't eaten yet. I'm so hungry. Huamin continued to pretend to be pitiful to gain sympathy, because this method had always worked on Qin Chu. Then you can starve. Honey, even your husband can't save you. Huamin, aren't you very powerful? The most invincible Huamin in the universe. How can you be so cruel to yourself? Qin Chu said coldly. As expected, he was still holding a grudge over that incident. Mr. Qin, don't be angry. I'm the one who's in pain, not you. Huamin was confused. He was the one who had his fallopian tube drained, so he was the one who was in pain. Why was Qin Chu so agitated? After he said this, Mr. Qin's face turned even darker. Honey, my stomach hurts. You asked for it. Honey, my stomach hurts from hunger. You deserve it. Honey, I'm going to die. Then I'll take you to the funeral home right now, Qin Chu said in all seriousness. Qin Chu, are you even human? There's still a year left before we get married. You're so heartless that you want to cremate me? You're a psycho. Huamin was finally angry. Qin Chu raised the corner of his mouth when he saw her irritable look. Catching sight of that smile, Huamin immediately asked excitedly, Hubby, you're not angry anymore. Angry? That's impossible. You even laughed. Huamin leaned against Qin Chu's palm and began to act like a spoiled child. Qin Chu really couldn't bear to scold her anymore. He parked the car at a kanji shop by the roadside. After having some supper with Huamin, the two of them finally went home. Next day at noon, Huamin received a call from Mo Shui, just as he was about to head to the restaurant for dinner. Huamin, are you free? I'm free. I'll wait for you at the Korean barbecue restaurant on Shinmin Street. Then Mo Shui hung up the phone. Huamin was depressed. Eating with a celebrity like Mo Shui was really bad. If word got out, he would be surrounded by fans. However, Mo Shui rarely took the initiative to eat with others, so he guessed that something must have happened to her. Taking advantage of their lunch break, Huamin drove straight to the place Mo Shui mentioned. Mo Shui was sitting in a private room on the top floor, wearing a black short-sleeved shirt. Her coat was a white woolen coat that was hanging on the hanger beside her. Shui, since she was an artist from his company, Huamin was quite friendly when he saw her. The young lady, come and sit. You should just call me Huamin. It sounds weird. The truth was, Huamin didn't like being called a young lady at all. It sounded too old, like a punching bag for a rich family. Okay, what do you want to eat? Hurry up. It's my treat today. Mo Shui smiled. It was rare for her to be in such a good mood. I love meat. I'm a classic carnivore. Then, Huamin flipped through the menu. Just then, the door to the private room opened. Huamin heard footsteps and turned around. Little sister Mian is here too. Hua Xiqian wasn't surprised at all. However, Huamin was indeed surprised. Wasn't it just him and Mo Shui eating together? Chapter 827. Huamin, I also invited your older brother. You don't mind, do you? Mo Shui asked with a smile. Of course. I don't mind. Huamin smiled as well. She finally understood that this wasn't just a simple meal. Huamin really thought too much of Mo Shui. Hua Xiqian, on the other hand, was very generous. He walked in and sat right next to Mo Shui. Then he intimately kissed her cheek, treating Huamin as if he was invisible. I'm the host today. You guys order whatever you want. Mo Shui was very generous. Hua Xiqian looked up at Huamin and said, Mian can order whatever she wants. I'll eat whatever she wants. Huamin didn't say anything. He just looked down at the menu. Then he reached out his hand and called the waiter over. Give me this barbecue, pork belly, enoki mushrooms, squid, and chicken feet. Oh right, and this pork tendon and vegetable combo. What about drinks? Mineral water. Then I want mineral water too. Hua Xiqian was like a child. You're not drinking today? Mo Shui looked at Hua Xiqian and asked. Nope, I have a meeting at the company in the afternoon. After ordering, the three of them sat across from each other. It was actually quite awkward. If it was just Hua Xiqian and Huamin, it wouldn't be so awkward. However, with Mo Shui, who he wasn't very familiar with, it was a bit awkward. Shui, how's your work these days? Thanks to President Qin's care, my jobs have been pretty good, and they're all top-notch. Huamin nodded, but he suddenly didn't know what to say. Hua Xiqian, on the other hand, poured himself a glass of mineral water, looked at Huamin, and said, You've successfully become a doctor, but you didn't treat me to a meal. Let me congratulate you today. Thank you. Huamin, you're a doctor now? Mo Shui was surprised. Yes, I had an exam a few days ago. I didn't even know about something this big. Mr. Hua sure is well informed. Mo Shui looked at Hua Xiqian meaningfully. Of course. How could I not pay attention to my own sister? Take Hua Yanyan for example. I know how many overdraft cards she spends every month. Did you notice, Mr. Hua? My eyes look like Huamin's. Mo Shui said with a smile. Huamin touched his own face curiously and looked at Mo Shui. He really didn't think they looked alike. He didn't know why she said that. Really? Why don't I feel anything? Hua Xiqian kept smiling. But a lot of people are saying, ever since I came to GK, more and more people are saying that I look like a young lady. I'm honored. I'm not as good looking as you are. You're flattering me. Huamin took a sip of water. No way, you must be extraordinary. Otherwise, how could President Qin be a hencon? It was the first time Huamin heard this term, and it was used to describe Qin Chu. Yeah, a few of us artists at GK sometimes say that President Qin is a hencon. Last time, the reimbursement bill was so ridiculous. But because you agreed to it, President Qin signed it without hesitation. It's obvious how much he loves you. Upon hearing Mo Shui's words, Huamin felt a little embarrassed. That brother-in-law of mine? That's true. But then again, any man who marries my little sister must be very lucky. How could he not treat her well? I told you that you treat Huamin much better than Hui Yanyan, right? You're such a biased brother. Mo Shui interrupted. Huamin looked up at Huasiqian and felt that he was looking at him with a complicated expression. Chapter 828. No normal person would like someone like Hui Yanyan, Huamin said calmly. Of course, she's retarded. The only people who like her are her friends, because she's dumb and rich, Huasiqian said mockingly as he picked up a spicy radish. How could he compare Huamin to Hui Yanyan? Was Hui Yanyan good enough for him? Her IQ was so high that she could carry Huamin's shoes for him. Huh, you're too funny. Mo Shui giggled as she covered her mouth. I'm serious, Huasiqian said with a straight face. Just then, the waitress began to serve the dishes. Since she was closer to Huamin, she picked up a spatula and began to fry the meat. After a few seconds, Huasiqian took the spatula from her. Look at how dumb you are, you don't know how to cook. Let me do it. Mo Shui looked at Huasiqian with a complicated expression on her face. Then she said coquettishly, young Master Hua is really good at taking care of people. Whoever marries him will be happy. You two are a good match, Huamin blurted out. I want to, but he doesn't like me. I'm not good enough for him. Who said that? Did you forget how you got him last night? Huasiqian said dirty words. Mo Shui immediately punched him on the shoulder. Can't you two let me eat? I have to go back to the hospital in a bit. Huamin smiled. Huasiqian stir-fried the meat for a while, and all the meat was ready. The three of them began to eat. Huasiqian was very considerate. He would put meat in Mo Shui and Huamin's bowl. Then he would pour them water, get them utensils and tissues. He was more like a waiter than a waiter. Huamin initially thought that Mo Shui only wanted to have a meal with her and talk about the company. Later on, he realized that she had an ulterior motive. From the moment Huasiqian walked through the door, Huamin already knew what Mo Shui was up to. She just wanted to see if there was any intimate relationship between her and Huasiqian. This might seem a little crazy to outsiders. However, Huasiqian was indeed not a member of the Hua family. He was just an adopted son. Mo Shui must really love Huasiqian. Back then, Mo Shui came to sign the contract with Huasiqian after he called her. This is enough to verify. When Huamin walked out of the restaurant, he wasn't in a good mood either. After Huamin got into the car, Huasiqian sent him a WeChat message. Don't eat with Mo Shui alone in the future. Why not? Huamin asked back. Why do you ask so many questions? Just listen to whatever I say. Why should I listen to you? Stupid girl, you're being rebellious again. Whatever, just remember, that woman isn't as simple as you think. Just as he was about to drive back to Southside, he received a call from the chief of internal medicine. He wanted him to go to the first hospital and get some medicine for Shui. Huamin immediately turned around and went to the first hospital. He followed the instructions and got the medicine. Huamin went downstairs to look for Huang Yu. However, she wasn't in the OB/GYN department. Head nurse, where's Yu? She went out. She's by the side door. I think her boyfriend is here. Huamin was slightly surprised. Boyfriend? Jixin? Shouldn't he be in class right now? Huamin was very curious. He put his medicine in the car and walked towards the side door. There were 3 entrances to the first hospital: the main entrance, the back entrance, and the side door. The side door was more secluded and most patients wouldn't use it. Usually, the hospital staff would use it for convenience. Huamin walked down the dark corridor to the side door. From afar, he saw Huang Yu pulling a man. That man wasn't Jixin. Huamin's heart sank when he saw this. Chapter 829. What's the point of working at this shitty job? How much do you get paid per month? I told you that I'll take care of you. Why don't you know what's good for you? So many women want me to take care of them, but I refuse. You really don't know what's good for you. Let go of me, I have to go to work. Don't come looking for me at work again. Huang Yu seemed to dislike men. What? You're scared that your pretty boy student will see you? The man laughed disgustingly. He was a man with tattoos on his arms. It was a cold day, yet he was wearing sleeves. What a psycho. His hair was slightly long, his eyes were small, his nose was big, and his mouth was ugly. He looked like he was in his 30s. Huamin couldn't imagine how Huang Yu got involved with someone like him. He was the epitome of a scumbag. Don't talk nonsense. Hurry up and leave, don't let anyone see us. I don't want anyone to talk about us like that. Huang Yu reached out and pushed the man away. The man turned around and slapped Huang Yu. Bitch? You weren't so impatient to chase me away when you were in my bed. I haven't hit you for a few days, so you're going to give me some face, right? I was kind enough to take you out for lunch, but you fucking pulled a long face at me. That's why I say you women are so cheap. I just didn't do you well enough. The man's mouth was full of profanity, and he even slapped Huang Yu. Huamin, who wasn't far behind them, couldn't take it anymore. She walked out from the corner and blocked the man's hand that was about to fall again. Huang Yu was a coward. She was so scared that she tilted her head. She didn't even dare to fight back. Scumbag, stop right now, Huamin cursed. Who the fuck are you? Senior sister? Why you here? Huang Yu suddenly looked up when she heard the voice. When she saw Huamin, she was shocked. If I didn't come to find you, I wouldn't be able to see this amazing scene. Huamin looked coldly at Huang Yu and said, Senior sister? I'm so sorry for you and Jixin. Huang Yu began to cry. Don't talk first. We'll talk later. With that, Huamin walked over and kicked the man's lower body. Huamin had perfected this end of posterity kick. You stinking woman, you dare to kick me, do you know who I am? Even if your father is Sun Wukong, I'll still kick him. Let me tell you, men who hit women are all fucking cowards. If you're so capable, go to Iraq and help. What's the point of hitting women here, you idiot? This was the first time in his life that Huamin had cursed so intensely. Simply, her feelings could no longer be described as anger. With that, Huamin turned around, grabbed Huang Yu's hand, and started walking back. Little bitch. You just wait and see how I'll deal with you later. The man yelled behind them as he held onto his crotch. Huang Yu didn't say anything the whole way, she just cried. Huamin dragged her to a remote rooftop in the hospital. Then he suddenly let go. Tell me what happened. Huamin crossed his arms and looked at Huang Yu with a serious expression. She never thought that one day, Huang Yu would date another man behind Jixin's back. Plus, that man wasn't even as handsome as Jixin. He was old, ugly, and had tattoos all over his body. Senior sister, I didn't want it to be like this. I really didn't mean to lie to you and Jixin. I had no choice. Huang Yu cried incoherently. Perhaps she didn't expect Huamin to encounter something like this. Tell me one thing at a time. First, tell me, who is that man? What's his relationship with you? Huamin looked coldly at Huang Yu. Chapter 830. Huang Yu leaned against the cold wall, dispirited. After a moment of silence, she slowly said, Mian, I'm sorry for Jixin. You've already said that? Huamin reminded her coldly. I met him at a class reunion. He's my classmate's older brother. My classmate organized the reunion, so we didn't have to split the bill. There were a lot of people, so I went. I didn't expect. I drank too much, and then I slept with him. I swear, I only like Jixin. I really drank too much, so I don't remember anything. Later on, that guy kept harassing me, and he kept coming to my apartment and the hospital to find me. I'm really scared of him. He's a gangster. I heard he has a gang background, so I didn't dare to mess with him. He even threatened that if I didn't listen to him, he would go to school and find Jixin and cripple him. I'm really scared of Jixin. Mian Huamin, I'm really sorry. I didn't dare to tell you guys because I was scared that you guys would look down on me, and I was scared that Jixin wouldn't be able to take it. Huang Yu cried as she spoke, and it didn't seem like she was faking it. Min sighed slightly when he heard what she said. Why didn't you tell me earlier? I didn't dare. That guy is too scary. I didn't want to drag you guys down, really. You guys don't know how much of a scumbag he is. He's capable of doing anything. Huang Yu was a little white rabbit who had never come into contact with someone like that, so she was really scared. Therefore, she chose to remain silent and swallow her anger. When it came to Jixin, she chose to avoid him. So you've been avoiding Jixin? Min continued to ask. I know that Jixin treats me well, but I feel so dirty right now. I can't face him. As Huang Yu said this, she covered her head and squatted on the ground, crying again. She was only a 21-year-old girl, so she really couldn't handle this much psychological pressure. Have you thought about calling the police? Call the police? How would I dare? He has a gang. If the police arrest him, his gang will kill my whole family. You don't know them. They are all outlaws. Huang Yu had been beaten up by N several times, so she was scared of him. But how long do you plan to stay on the edge like this? When will it end? Min asked indifferently. I don't know either. I just wanted to buy as much time as possible. I didn't expect you to find out. Senior sister, can you not tell Jixin? I'm afraid he won't be able to take it. Jixin cares about you a lot. Don't you think you should give him an explanation? Min didn't know what to say. Things had already come to this point, yet he still had to keep Jixin in the dark. She made him suffer from lovesickness. Did she really love Jixin? I have to give him an explanation. I'll break up with him tonight. Are you sure you want to break up? What else can I do? I'm already like this. Will Jixin still like me? Huang Yu's eyes were red and swollen from crying. You're not Jixin, how do you know what he's thinking? Huang Yu shook her head. Even if Jixin doesn't mind, I can't live with myself. Plus, that person said that if I continue to contact Jixin, he'll destroy Jixin as well. I can't hurt him. So you're going to live like this for the rest of your life? What else can I do? Why didn't you ask me about this? I don't think I can't deal with someone like that. We can face it together, Min said word for word. If it was before, Min probably wouldn't dare to mess with those hooligans. However, things were different now. She had Qin Chu, Gao Ran, and even the owner of Seductive Fox at her disposal. If one were to talk about the biggest asshole, no one would be more powerful than the owner of Seductive Fox. However, Huang Yu didn't say a word about it. Even if you help me take care of that person, what about his accomplices? If you can't get rid of all of them, my family will be in danger. My parents love me so much, I don't want anything to happen to them. I can't let anything happen to them. Senior sister, can you be considerate of me? Huang Yu begged Min. She didn't even want Min to help her out. Her way of dealing with things was really ridiculous. So, you don't want me to help you, right? Min looked at Huang Yu with disappointment. Chapter 8:31. Yes, Huang Yu replied as she clenched her teeth. Okay, since you said so, what else can I say? Min smiled bitterly. I'm sorry, Mion. I know you're good to me, but I have too many concerns. No, you're not sorry at all. You're sorry for Jixin. I didn't want you guys to be together back then because you were both too young and didn't know how to handle things properly. It was inevitable that you guys would hurt each other. But Jixin loves you deeply, and as his older sister, I don't want to be the person who breaks you up. Since things have come to this, I don't blame you. I just hope that you don't drag this out. If you want to break up, just tell him. Don't make him wait like an idiot. But I'll tell him tonight, Huang Yu said with difficulty. Min looked at her. Then take care of yourself. Also, if you need my help, call me today. Otherwise, I won't care about anything that happens to you in the future. Min wasn't being heartless, but rather he was being decisive and decisive. One had to be decisive and decisive. Huang Yu was afraid of offending that hooligan today, so she refused to let Min help her. She didn't want to continue her relationship with Jixin, but she was afraid of that person's threat. She was too timid. She was so timid that she was overcautious. She was so timid that she was willing to give up her beloved boyfriend to be with a scumbag. This was her own choice. If she missed the opportunity that Huamin gave her, then Huamin really wouldn't help her anymore. He already gave her a chance. If she missed it, then it wasn't worth it anymore. I'm sorry, Mian. Huang Yu still said the same thing. Huamin was annoyed by her words. She turned around and left. She got into her Audi R8 and sped back to South Side. She delivered the medicine to Shuai's attending physician and then went back to her office to organize her documents. Dr. Hua, someone booked your appointment. Do you want to continue? The assistant nurse asked. Huamin looked down at the time and nodded. Take this one. Then, the nurse brought the patient in. What's the situation? Huamin looked at the data on the computer and asked in a low voice. The person remained silent. Why are you? Huamin raised his head and was about to scold her when he was stunned. To her surprise, she realized that the person who had arrived was none other than Ning Xing. Why are you here? Me? You're a doctor now, congratulations. Ning Xuan looked very haggard. His beard was unkempt, and the jacket he wore was a little old. He didn't seem to be doing too well. Thank you, Huamin said lightly. My parents came to look for you a few days ago, right? Yes, they couldn't find you, so they found me. Yeah, I called them later. Thank you for taking care of them for me and giving them money. No need. They treat me very well too. I treat them like family. Huamin's heart still ached when he thought of the sincere old couple. Wu was fired by President Wu after I divorced Wu Xiaoxue. I heard that it was because you made a mistake during a cataract surgery, Huamin said as he stared at him. Ning Xuan nodded. I was very confused at the time. I don't know why, but I couldn't concentrate. After I left the first hospital, I started seeing patients at a small private hospital. Where are you living? Auntie Ning said that you rented out that apartment. Yeah, I'm living in the dorm provided by the hospital. It saves money that way. Oh. Huamin nodded. I haven't been feeling very well lately. Can you prescribe me some medicine? Ning Xuan suddenly said, You can't rely on medicine. You have to adjust your mentality. As a doctor, you should know this. Huamin didn't want to hurt him. Many of the medicine that suppressed one's mental state would make them look very stupid. Can you lend me some money? I'm a little short on money lately, Ning Xuan suddenly said. Chapter 8:32. Huamin was a little speechless, but out of courtesy she still asked, How much do you want to borrow? 100,000, is that okay? Why do you need so much money? 100,000 wasn't a lot to Huamin, but she wanted to know what Ning Xuan was going to do with the money. I want to buy a pharmacy and do it myself. I don't want to go to work, it's uncomfortable to be controlled by others. 100,000 isn't enough to buy a pharmacy. At the very least, investing in a pharmacy would cost 300,000 to 500,000. Oh, I'm partnering with someone else. They're offering 200,000, I'm offering 100,000, Ning Xuan corrected himself. Where's the pharmacy? How much is the rent? Do you have all the documents? Who's the legal person? Huamin threw out several questions in a row. Ning Xuan was stunned by the questions. Huamin was a typical Virgo. She was very meticulous. She thought that if Ning Xuan was telling the truth, then she could lend him 100,000. But seeing how he stuttered and evasive his answers, something didn't feel right. I'm not sure either, my friend did it. There are a lot of scammers these days, you should ask them clearly. Can you give me 100,000 now? I'll definitely pay you back when I have the money. Ning Xuan said anxiously, Sure. I'll say it again. I'll lend you the money if you provide me with the details. I only help the needy, not the poor. If you want to squander the money, no one can help you. Huamian enunciated each and every word. Fine, I admit that I lied to you. I didn't open a pharmacy. I just don't have the money to spend. You're my ex-girlfriend, can't you help me? Isn't Chinchu really rich? He even bought you a mansion and a mansion. You guys spent over 100 million on an anniversary celebration. Why is it so hard to give me some money? Ning Xuan seemed to be filled with resentment. Huamin was shocked by him. What you mean is that those poor people can ask the rich for money if they have no money, and it's wrong if they don't give it to them. Huamin laughed mockingly. But aren't we friends? Isn't it normal to help a friend? Ning Yuan spoke matter-of-factly. Really? Since we're friends, why didn't you help me when I was so anxious to find you when Jixin was in a car accident? Huamin smiled. If I help you, Qin Chu won't have anything to do with it. After all, he has to thank you and let you go. Ning Yuan said shamelessly. Huamin wanted to curse out loud. It's time for the diagnosis. You can leave. I have nothing to say to you. You won't lend me the money, right? Huamin nodded. Good, very good, Huamin, just you wait. You'll get your retribution, Ning Yuan said viciously. You're wrong. Only evil people get their retribution. I, Huamin, have been honest for the past 24 years. I've never done anything wrong. Why would I get my retribution? Oh, really? Then why don't you have children after being married for so long? Ning Yuan laughed viciously. Huamin's face instantly turned pale. What? You don't know what to say? I hit the nail on the head. You think you're happy just because you married into a rich family, huh? I often read the entertainment news. Your mother-in-law scolds you every day and calls you a hen that can't lay eggs. You're just pretending to be a young lady, aren't you? The truth is, you can't even have children. How much longer will Qin Chu love you like this? Ningtian, shut up. Huamin was so angry that he was shaking. Perhaps his words hit her where it hurt, so she couldn't stay calm. Is it because your husband can't do it? Do you want me to be a virgin and lend you my seed so you can get pregnant? As soon as he said this, Huamin threw a pen holder at Ning Yuan. With a clang, it landed on Ning Yuan's head. Ning Yuan, don't be so evil. You're a father after all. It won't do you any good to walk down this path. Chapter 8:33. You don't have to be so cocky with me. Huamin, I'll wait. Even if I have to live my life, I want to see the day you get stepped on. After speaking, Ning Yuan left with his head in his hands. Huamin was so angry that her face turned ugly. Not having children seemed to be a sore point for her. However, she didn't want to do this either. Ning Yuan had spoken so viciously because he failed to borrow money from her. She was speechless. Did couples have to fight when they saw each other again after breaking up? Huamin was restless the entire afternoon. Jixin's incident and Ning Yuan's incident made her feel double the pressure. After she got off work, she drove straight back to her home at Imperial Park. Then she fell into a deep sleep. She didn't even know when Qin Chu came home. Honey, it's time to eat. Don't sleep. Qin Chu made a few calls, but Huamin didn't hear them because her ringtone was turned down. He anxiously went to Southside and found out that she got off work on time, so he went straight back to Imperial Park. When he saw Huamin's Audi downstairs, he knew that she must be upstairs. I don't want to eat, you eat. Huamin's voice was very quiet. Qin Chu felt that something was wrong. He leaned down and touched her forehead with his lips. Only then did he realize that she was shockingly hot. You have a fever. You didn't even know. You were still sleeping. Heartbroken, Qin Chu picked her up from the bed, wrapped her in a blanket, and carried her upstairs to the sofa. Then, he took out an electronic thermometer to measure her temperature. 39.6. Huamin, that's enough. Qin Chu looked at the thermometer, his face turning dark. Normal people wouldn't be able to take it. How could she not have a reaction? She was a doctor. How could she not know common sense? Huamin only felt uncomfortable all over. Then, she felt sleepy and wanted to sleep. She really didn't notice that she had such a high fever. Qin Chu took out the fever medicine from the first aid kit and poured a cup of warm water for her to take. Then, he hugged her in his arms and pressed his face against hers with heartache. Why do you have a fever out of nowhere? Maybe he caught a cold, Huamin said in a daze. Idiot. You don't even know that you're sick. You're the biggest idiot in the world. What if I don't know how to find you? If you continue burning, won't your brain be fried? That's good. Then I can quietly be an idiot. Then I can stay by your side and let you take care of me for the rest of my life. Huamin rubbed his warm face against Qin Chu's chiseled chin. Qin Chu's heart ached as he hugged her tightly. Fortunately, the medicine worked well, and after half an hour, Huamin's fever subsided. Qin Chu used the towel to apply ice to her forehead. He let her rest her head on his lap. Just then, Huamin's phone rang. Qin Chu saw that it was his mother, so he picked it up. "Auntie, where's Mian?" Yang Meirong asked. "She's here. Give her the phone." Yang Meirong seemed a little anxious. Qin Chu handed the phone to Huamin, and Huamin picked it up in a daze. "Mian, Mom, what's wrong? Come back quickly. I don't know what's wrong with Jixin, but he didn't eat or drink when he got home. He locked himself in his room and didn't open the door even when I knocked." "Okay, I'll be right back." Only then did Huamin remember that Huang Yu might have told Jixin about the breakup. So, she forced herself to stay awake. "Where are you going?" "Jish, there's some trouble over there. I have to go back and check on him. Let's go together." Qin Chu knew that Huamin had to go, so he didn't stop her. Instead, he drove her to Sky Blessing Court. "You guys are finally here. Go and see that kid. He's acting weird today. He didn't say anything to me." Yang Meirong was very anxious. Chapter 8:34. On the way there, Huamin told Qin Chu about Jixin's situation. So, Qin Chu had a rough idea of what was going on. Huamin dragged his feverish body upstairs to Jixin's bedroom. "Jixin, open the door, it's your sister." She knocked several times, but Jixin didn't respond. "Jish, open the door, come out and tell me what you want." "Sis, I'm not asleep. Let me be alone." Huamin looked at Qin Chu helplessly. Qin Chu walked up. "Let me try." "Jixin, it's your brother-in-law. Open the door, I want to talk to you about your internship at the company." Sure enough, when he heard Qin Chu, Jixin slowly opened the door. "My dear, you finally opened the door." Huamin let out a sigh of relief when he saw that Jixin was fine. "Sis, she broke up with me." Jixin looked at Huamin with tears in his big eyes. He seemed to be sad and wanted to cry, but he also felt bitter and embarrassed, so he tried his best to hold it in. Huamin couldn't help but hug Jixin. Jixin also hugged Huamin, and the two siblings hugged each other like that. Mr. Qin, who was watching from the side, felt jealous. Luckily, it was Jixin, so he didn't feel jealous. If it was anyone else, he would have grabbed that person and thrown him out. "Jixin, your sister is still sick. This isn't the place to talk, let's go downstairs." Qin Chu comforted him. Jixin let go of Huamin and quietly followed behind them. Huamin didn't want his mother to hear, so he said, "Mom, my brother is fine. He just didn't do well on the exam, but I talked him out of it. He's hungry, and so am I. Hurry up and cook us some porridge, I want pumpkin porridge. Make it a little longer." "Oh, so it's an exam. This matter really scared me to death. This child, alright, you guys just wait." When Yang Meirong heard Huamin's words, she was no longer suspicious. He went straight to the kitchen to prepare supper. Qin Chu, Huamin, and Jixin sat on the sofa in the living room. Jixin took out his phone and handed it to Huamin. "She sent me a WeChat message. Take a look at it yourself. I don't want to repeat myself." Huamin took the phone and saw Huang Yu's message. "Jixin, I'm sorry. I've thought about it for a long time, but I still have to tell you that I've fallen in love with someone else. We met at a class reunion, and I can't be with you anymore. I didn't want to hurt you, so I didn't tell you. But it's not good for either of us to drag this out, so let's break up. Thank you for taking care of me before, and I wish you a better girl in the future." These words were very conventional and did not have any standard. One look and one could tell that it was something a child would say. "So, you can't take it anymore?" Huamin looked at his brother, a little angry at how useless he was. "No, I just can't stand how fickle she is. I don't think she's that kind of person. People's hearts are unpredictable. How can you know what a person is thinking? Plus, you can't force love." "I know." Jixin nodded. "If you know, then why are you so depressed? We just broke up, no one can accept it. I just feel bad, really sis, it hurts here." Jixin pointed at his chest. Huamin frowned. "Forget it, the pain will pass. You have to be strong. Jixin, you're a man, you can't just live with love. You still have your friends, your teachers, your classmates, and your career. Your brother-in-law already thought about it. After the new year, you'll have fewer classes when school starts, so you can go straight to GK." "Really?" Brother-in-law, I can go after the new year? Jixin was pleasantly surprised. It was almost December. After the new year in March, he only had a few months left. Yeah, as long as you pull yourself together and work hard, nothing will be a problem. I'll listen to you, brother-in-law. You're my idol. You're only 27 years old, but you're already on the Forbes Asia list. You're on the cover of many financial magazines. You're so cool. The more Jixin spoke, the more excited he became. The sadness from before seemed to have disappeared. Huamin looked at Qin Chu gratefully. The relationship between the couple was obvious. Brother-in-law, can I go to GK Film and Television for my internship? Jixin suddenly asked. Huamin and Qin Chu were both surprised by the question. Chapter 8:35. Why do you want to go to GK Film and Television? Huamin asked, confused. Because I really like Mo Shui. Qin Chu. Huamin, you're a fan of celebrities? Huamin was completely speechless. She's so good at acting, and Yang is so good at singing. Did you guys hear the last song he sang at the concert? It's called The Lonely Bird. Oh my God, it was so good that it broke my heart. When it came to Yang, Jixin was even more exaggerated. Oh, I heard that song, it was really good. Yang is one of the rare superstars who is both a capable and an idol. He's the male lead of our company, Qin Chu said with a smile. That's great. Brother-in-law, I'll go to GK. Maybe I can be Mo Shui's assistant, or Yang's assistant. Huamin rolled his eyes at him. That's all you've got? You're the president's brother-in-law, how can you be someone's assistant? Don't you feel ashamed? I can start from the bottom. Once I understand how the company operates, you can promote me to the president of GK Film and Television. Qin Chu, Huamin, bro, if you're okay, go wash up and go to bed. What are you guys talking about? You look so happy. Yang Meirong walked out of the kitchen with a tray containing 3 bowls of pumpkin porridge. She also brought some salted vegetables and heated up some snacks. Wow, you're done so quickly. Thank you. Huamin smiled. After his fever subsided, he was starving. He ate with relish. Qin Chu and Yang each had some porridge as well. Seeing that Yang was fine, Yang Meirong was relieved. Before they left, Huamin repeatedly reminded Jixin, don't go looking for Huang Yu. Jixin nodded. After that, Huamin and Qin Chu went home. The next morning when Huamin arrived at the hospital, he first went to see Shui, who had just woken up. He was in good spirits. Xiewan was feeding him porridge. Morning, Shui. Good morning, Sister Hua. Wow, you look so energetic today. Come, let me take a look. Huamin walked over and saw that Shui's complexion had improved a lot. His mood improved as well. When did he wake up? He woke up last night. Chief Chi said that he's recovering well. That's good. You've worked hard these days. No. It's my own child. It's not hard at all. Xiewan shook her head repeatedly. When Shui is discharged from the hospital, I'll find a school for him and a new place for you to live. Then you can take some time to meet Yang. Yes. Xiewan nodded. Yang? Is it that big star? Shui suddenly heard it. Yeah, it's that big star brother. Do you like him? I do. My classmates all like him. They say that he's super handsome and he sings really well. Shui said excitedly. Xiewan didn't feel good about it. They were half-brothers, but they didn't like each other at all. When you're better, I'll take you to meet that big brother of his, okay? Really? Shui was obviously very excited. Of course, I never lie. But isn't he a big star? Shui reacted quickly. But a big star is still a person. Big brother Yang is a really nice person. That's great. I want to take a picture with him and get his autograph. Shui was so happy that he danced around. Don't move around. Hurry up and eat, Xiewan scolded, probably because she didn't feel good about it. At noon, Huamin finished eating and returned to the lobby on the first floor. She heard someone calling her from afar. She turned around and saw that it was indeed Jiang Shaowei. Beauty, ever since you got engaged, you've been really busy. Not only have I not been able to see you, but even Wei Liao rarely walks around the market, Huamin joked. Ha, that's because I taught him well. Alright, come with me. I have something to tell you. What is it? Can you take a look at this for me? What's going on? Jiang Xiaowei mysteriously took out something from her pocket and handed it to Huamin. Huamin picked it up and looked at it. He was immediately dumbfounded. So you're trying to tell me that you're pregnant? Huamin looked at Jiang Xiaowei in surprise. Chapter 8:36. Pregnant? Oh my god, are you kidding me? Jiang Xiaowei was going crazy. Sis, this is an early pregnancy test. There are 2 lines. The second line isn't that obvious, right? How can you be sure that I'm pregnant? Jiang Xiaowei was speechless. She and Wei Liao had only been together for a short while. It hadn't even been 20 days since they started living together. When she woke up this morning, she realized that her period, which was usually punctual, was late. Therefore, she bought an early pregnancy test, but in the end, it should be. Huamin nodded. Oh my god, what should I do now? Jiang Xiaowei didn't seem ready. Sis, this is a good thing, okay? Why do you look like you hate him so much? Huamin couldn't be more envious. How great would it be if he was her good thing? What's good about it? Who knows what will happen between us in the future? Plus, I'm not prepared for this. If you're not mentally prepared, you should use some protection, sis. Jiang Xiaowei was a straight-A student with a PhD in psychology. How come she didn't even know this basic knowledge? I was drunk one day and he was impulsive. It didn't work, it was just that one time. This thing can be so magical sometimes. Huamin quietly replied. Can you be sure that I'm pregnant? After all, it's only been 10 days. It can't be that weird, right? Jiang Xiaowei still couldn't believe it. There's another way. You can come with me to the OB/GYN to get your blood drawn and test your progesterone level. Then, everything will be fine. Okay, let's go, take me there. Before Huamin could say anything, Jiang Xiaowei pushed her into the OB/GYN. Upstairs in the OB/GYN, Huamin accompanied Jiang Xiaowei to get her blood drawn. Then, he asked his colleagues in the lab to get the results as soon as possible. 40 minutes later, Jiang Xiaowei held the test results with a bitter expression on her face. This child is too fucking unexpected. It's fate that it's here. You're not planning to abort it, are you? I do have that thought. No, give birth to it and let me raise it. You can't abort it. The child is a life, Huamin said pitifully. Pa, I'm just kidding. I think they'll be happy that I don't have parents. Also, the Wei family, they don't like me because I'm too direct with my words. But I don't like them either. Now that I'm pregnant, it's a good chance to make them talk. That's right. Since you plan to be with Wei Liao, you must keep the child. Wait for me to go back and see his reaction. In fact, Jiang Xiaowei was quite uncertain. Usually, when a man's relationship wasn't stable, he didn't like his girlfriend to be pregnant. The 2 of them were not officially married and had not registered their marriage. Although the engagement was sensational, it could only be considered a ceremony. However, Wei Liao wasn't young anymore. He was one of the older ones, even older than Su Yu. He was already 28 years old. Maybe he'd be happy that Jiang Xiaowei was pregnant? After Jiang Xiaowei's pregnancy was confirmed, she seemed to have mixed feelings. One moment she was happy, and the next she was pessimistic. Huamin was very envious and kept reminding her to protect herself. He even ran to the prescription and bought her folic acid with his own money. Remember to take it for the first 3 months. It's good for the baby. Thank you, my genius doctor. Jiang Xiaowei pinched Huamin's face. After Jiang Xiaowei left, she went straight to Wei Liao's company. The Wei family's business was very big. They started with steel and now they were also in the chemical industry. Wei Liao wasn't the top CEO of the family group. He didn't have as much power as Qin Chu. However, he was still the executive vice president. Wei Liao. Jiang Xiaowei shouted as she walked towards the office. Slightly, why are you at the company? I have good news and bad news for you. Which one do you want to hear? The bad one. The bad news is that I think I'm pregnant. Wei Liao was dumbfounded. What about the good news? Chapter 837. The good news is that you're going to be a father. Gah! Wei Liao almost choked to death. You're pregnant, and I'm going to be a father. What's the difference? Wei Liao was speechless. Yes, I'm pregnant. It's a little sudden and it's a bad thing for us. But you're 28 years old, and you're going to be a father. In a sense, this is good news. No wonder you study psychology. You're awesome. Wei Liao gave her a thumbs up. Cut the crap, you made me pregnant. What do we do now? Abort and break up, or? Before Jiang Xiaowei could finish her sentence, Wei Liao immediately stood up and covered Jiang Xiaowei's mouth with his hand. Oh my God! What are you talking about? Why do we have to abort it? You said it's a good thing that I'm going to be a father. So, what do we do now? Jiang Xiaowei asked on purpose. In fact, she really wanted to see Wei Liao's reaction so that she would know what to do next. Based on Jiang Xiaowei's swift and decisive way of doing things, if Wei Liao appeared to be depressed, she wouldn't let him off easily. She would immediately ask Huo Min to make an appointment with the obstetrician to abort the baby, and then break up with the jerk. If Wei Liao looked happy, then, of course we're getting married with a baby. Getting married with a baby? Jiang Xiaowei was surprised. The baby's here. Isn't it a reminder for us to get married soon? Hurry up. You won't look good in a wedding dress when you're pregnant. Oh, by the way, the weather is nice today. Why don't we get our marriage certificate first? Now! Jiang Xiaowei was petrified again. Wei Liao looked at his watch. Yeah, there's still time. I'm familiar with them, so they can wait for us to get our household register. Hey, we're getting married just like that? Jiang Xiaowei was surprised. Wei Liao was really happy, really happy. Don't worry, I'll give you the monetary gift. The house and car will all be transferred to you. Oh yes, and I'll be yours in the future. With that, Wei Liao took Jiang Xiaowei's hand. The two of them quickly drove to the Civil Affairs Bureau to get their household registration booklets. When Jiang Xiaowei held the red book in her hand, she wondered if she was dreaming. She had once thought that she would never be able to get married, but she had actually gotten engaged in a flash in a short period of time, got pregnant in a short period of time, and then got married. It was really a shotgun marriage. How melodramatic. Slightly. I'll discuss the wedding date with my parents. You can see if your family has any requests. Also, do you want to hold it locally or abroad? Also, you can decide where to take photos and where to go for the honeymoon. Jiang Xiaowei was still stunned. Oh, right. The most important thing now is to invite my buddies over for a meal to celebrate. Then Wei Liao immediately called Su Yu, Teng Chuan, and the others. Then he reminded Jiang Xiaowei, shouldn't you call Huo Min over as well? After all, you guys are close. Wait a second, let me think. Jiang Xiaowei held the red book and sat in Wei Liao's black Rolls-Royce Phantom for a long time. Finally, she hesitantly called Huo Min. Huo Min, come over for dinner in a bit. It's at Xingbin restaurant. I don't think so, I'm pretty tired today. Huo Min thought that it was a dinner party, so he wanted to turn it down. To his surprise, the woman added, I've already gotten my marriage certificate. I've arranged a meal for you. Hurry up and come over. After yelling at him, Jiang Xiaowei hung up the phone. Huo Min was once again dumbfounded. That woman just found out she was pregnant today, and she got her marriage certificate tonight. This world was too crazy. She couldn't keep up with it. Although he was shocked, Huo Min still went. She called Qin Chu. Then she drove straight to the restaurant. When she entered the private room, Su Yu and the others were already there. When Su Yu saw Huo Min, his expression changed. He seemed to be faintly happy. Huo Min, come and sit with me. Jiang Xiaowei waved her hand. Chapter 838. Sister Slightly, it's not good for you to be so bossy. Our Lord Su hasn't seen the head nurse for a long time, and you're taking away his love. Tang Chuan's mouth was very cheap as he joked around. Head nurse? She's a doctor now. You've changed a lot after going abroad, Jiang Xiaowei laughed. Oh, really? She's a doctor now, congratulations. Tang Chuan clenched his fists. Thank you. How come I feel like the world has changed when I went abroad? Wei Liao is suddenly a father and a husband, and Huamin is a doctor. Lord Su, what about you? Didn't you give me a surprise? What kind of surprise do you want? How about I dip my whip in wax tonight? Su Yu looked at Tang Chuan. No, I don't have that kind of taste. They chatted and laughed as Wei Liao entered the private room after ordering. There were only 5 people in total, but the dishes were sumptuous. Shengbin restaurant was owned by the Wei family and run by Wei Ying, the 3rd son of the Wei family. Business was good, and the dishes were authentic. It was Huamin's first time here. Congratulations to the 2 of you. Come, let's have a drink. Tang Chuan raised his glass. Su Yu also raised his glass. Slightly will be fine with mineral water, Wei Liao said with a smile. Just then Huamin slowly said, I'll have some mineral water too. What's going on? Are you pregnant too? Tang Chuan said without thinking. When he said this, Su Yu's hand that was holding the wine glass visibly trembled. Then, everyone's gaze fell on Huamin. Huamin immediately waved his hand and explained, No, I had a fever yesterday, and today I took cephalosporin anti-inflammatory medicine. I can't drink. Is it? Tang Chuan nodded. I'll drink it for you. Seeing that Huamin's glass was already full, Su Yu directly took it and finished it in one gulp. Lord Su, why are you drinking for her? You don't even have a relationship with her, Tang Chuan teased. Can't I be thirsty? Su Yu retorted proudly. If that's what you want to say, then drink the 3 of us as well. Fuck you. After Su Yu finished cursing, everyone laughed. Su Yu looked at Wei Liao and Jiang Xiaowei. The 2 of you are really amazing. You really know how to make things difficult. It hasn't been long, and you've already made my nephew. Not bad. Of course. I'm not convinced by anyone but young Master Wei. Tang Chuan also laughed. Go away, don't make fun of me. Wei Liao smiled as he put his arm around Jiang Xiaowei's shoulder. Huamin also said, Since you've gotten your marriage certificate, you're husband and wife. You must get along well and love each other. This is a promise for life. Of course. I'll hang myself on Jiang Xiaowei for the rest of my life. Wei Liao joked, If you dare to change trees, I'll break your dick. Jiang Xiaowei was very domineering. Everyone burst out in laughter again. Wei Ying had spent a lot of money on more than 30 dishes. To be honest, she didn't like Jiang Xiaowei before, thinking that she was a green tea bitch who wanted to climb up the social ladder. Later, she realized that Wei Ying was a very domineering and intelligent woman. Gradually, Wei Ying changed her mind. When she pushed open the door to the private room, she smiled and said, Second brother, second sister-in-law, you guys eat first. Call me if it's not enough. Big brother Su Yu, big brother Tang Chuan, call me if it's not enough. You've gotten prettier, Tang Chuan said with a smile. Big brother Tang Chuan, you've always been a sweet talker. Why does this sister look so familiar? She's? Wei Ying had been to GK's 30-year anniversary party, so she found Huamin familiar. Among the 5 people, she hadn't seen Huamin before. Chapter 839. This is my good friend, Huamin, Jiang Xiaowei introduced. A young lady from GK? Wei Ying suddenly remembered. Huamin, this is Wei Liao's little sister, Wei Ying, Jiang Xiaowei introduced. Hello. Huamin nodded slightly. You look so elegant. Wei Ying was well informed and knew how to talk. After greeting them, Wei Ying went downstairs. After 2 hours of eating, everyone left. Tang Chuan suggested that they go to Seductive Fox, but Huamin stood up and said, You guys go ahead, I'm not going. I haven't been feeling well lately and feel tired. I'll go home first. Okay, go home and rest. Jiang Xiaowei patted Huamin's shoulder. I'll walk you downstairs. It was rare for Su Yu to see Huamin, so he didn't care what other people thought of him and insisted. Before Huamin could refuse, he walked ahead of him. Why do I feel like Lord Su still can't forget Huamin? It's not what you think, it's what we all think. Wei Liao shook his head helplessly. Are you cold? Su Yu looked at Huamin and asked. Huamin shook his head. You don't look well. Are you okay? Do you want me to drive you home? It's okay, I can drive myself, Huamin politely refused. Then, Su Yu watched as Huamin got into his car. He reversed the car and drove off in his Audi R8. Worried, Su Yu drove his Ferrari and followed Huamin from a distance. It was about 3 to 4 cars away. Su Yu didn't leave until Huamin safely arrived at Imperial Park. Huamin saw everything clearly from the rearview mirror. There were less than 10 red Ferraris in this city. Su Yu's license plate was so obvious, ending with 8. How could she not know? The truth was, she was touched by Su Yu's actions. But even so, she couldn't reciprocate. She already had Qin Chu, so she couldn't fall in love with anyone else. When Huamin got home, Qin Chu wasn't home yet. She picked up her phone and made a call. Honey, are you still home? I'm on the road. Are you done eating? Yes, I just got home too. Have you eaten? Do you want me to? No, I ate. I ate. Then the two hung up. Huamin called his mother again. She said that Jixin was in a good mood today. He wasn't as depressed as he was yesterday. Huamian felt a lot more relieved. 20 minutes later, Qin Chu opened the door upstairs. Honey, is your passport at home? It's in the drawer, Huamin replied. Huamin got her passport when she was 17. It was valid for 10 years. At the time, she was planning to go to the States with Qin Chu, but they didn't go. So, her passport was left at the bottom of the drawer. All these years, she never had the chance to go abroad. Qin Chu went upstairs and took Huamin's passport down. Come with me. Where did Huamin froze. The Maldives. Huamin was shocked when he heard this. The Maldives? But what kind of joke was this? Honey, wait a minute. Is it okay if you don't have a visa? Don't we have to apply for a visa in advance? The Maldives is a landing visa, Qin Chu replied as he walked. But I still have to go to work. What about the hospital? I already asked President Wu for 5 days off for you. Oh my God, 5 days? Huamin was going crazy. I'm in too much of a hurry to leave. My swimsuit, dress and vacation glasses and hats. Yang is ready, he's at the airport. Oh my God, how long did you plan this, Mr. Qin? I decided 3 hours ago. Okay, you win. Huamin was speechless. How could Mr. Qin be so willful when he was so rich? They first flew from C City to X City because there was a direct flight from X City to Malé, the capital of Indonesia. He said it so casually as if he was buying groceries. Huamin felt like she had enough surprises today. However, she didn't expect to be shocked again at the airport. Jixin, why are you here? Brother-in-law said he's taking me to the Maldives, Jixin replied adorably. Oh my God, are we going to a tour group? Huamin looked at Qin Chu again, dumbfounded. Chapter 840. Huamian was just joking, but she didn't expect it to become true. Huamin originally thought that it would be just her and Qin Chu, but not only did she see Jixin at the airport, but she also saw Jixin. There was also an 8-person film crew, including a stylist and a cameraman. Most importantly, there were 4 bodyguards. So, this time, there were actually 15 people going to the Maldives. Mr. Rich Qin was extremely generous. He chartered a private jet to X City, then another private jet from X City to Malé, the capital of the Maldives. Finally, he transferred from Malé to Paradise Island. It took him 11 hours to get there, and he was speechless. However, the good thing was that they were on a luxurious private jet. The seats were super big, so they could lie down even if they were tired. It was very comfortable. It was Jixin's first time traveling abroad, so he was very excited the entire time. Sis, is the Maldives in every woman's heart? Jixin asked playfully as he sat across from Huamin on the plane. I think so. Who wouldn't like such a romantic place? Huamin was a woman who loved the sea, but she never dared to dream of a paradise like the Maldives. Sea City was also a coastal city, but it was inland. The seawater was gray, unlike the blue sky and light blue on the screensaver. Therefore, an iconic island like the Maldives had become a place that women all over the world yearned for. However, because the journey was long and expensive, Huamin never thought about it. Qin Chu had mentioned it before, but because they were too busy, they didn't have time to come. This time, Qin Chu suddenly decided to go on a trip like this. For Huamin, it was sudden and full of surprises. She liked all the surprises that Mr. Qin created because Mr. Qin knew her too well. Qin Chu's decision this time wasn't sudden either. After they got married, they didn't even take wedding photos, and they didn't have a wedding either. It had always been a regret in his heart. Huamin seemed to be constantly thinking about the child, and she even went to the hospital to do a checkup. He was very sad. He wanted to relieve Huamin's stress and stop her from thinking too much. He also wanted Jixin, who was heartbroken, to calm down. In the end, Qin Chu decided to put down his work and take 5 days to go on a trip like this. They say that the Maldives will sink in 50 years because of the rising sea. I don't know if it's true or not, but I can die without regrets. Jixin sighed. Huh, how old are you? You're only 19. Please, don't always say things that make people think that you're an old man. Huamian held a glass of juice and looked at her brother. Qin Chu was busy during the flight. Although there was no internet, he could turn on his tablet. Huamian and Jixin only chatted occasionally with each other. When it be time, it was time, they had a mean. After a bumpy ride, they finally thmin. Paradise Island was an island that many people liked because it was clean, beautiful, and had a nice name. Therefore, Qin Chu booked 4 days and 3 nights and spent the next few days on this small island. The moment they landed on the island, everyone was amazed, except for Qin Chu. He didn't seem to be too excited under normal circumstances. It's so beautiful, oh my God. I can't believe there's such a sea, Jixin exclaimed. It's definitely God's son, Huamin said. This was based on the most popular sentence on the internet, which said that the Maldives was a drop of God's tear on earth. Therefore, Huamian was a super talented person. She was able to express such a literary sentence in plain language. Chapter 841. She had never seen such a surreal sea in her 24 years of life. The water was so clear that she could see the bottom, and all kinds of small fish swam in the shallows, as if they weren't afraid of humans. The sky was strangely blue, as if an artist accidentally spilled his ink. Clouds floated in the sky not far away like cotton candy. It was hard to imagine a scene like this if one didn't see it with their own eyes. Even though the sun was about to set, it was still so irresistibly mesmerizing. The photography team and bodyguards behind them all took out their phones to take pictures and post them on WeChat. Jixin couldn't help but take out his phone and take pictures like crazy. Then he shouted at Huamin, "Sis, don't move, I'll take one for you." Huamin turned around and smiled slightly. Jixin took a picture and realized that his sister's picture was so beautiful. President Qin, everyone is probably tired. Let's go back to our rooms and get some rest. Dinner will be ready soon, the casual female assistant said. Qin Chu nodded. Then he held Huamin's hand and walked to the most luxurious floating house. On the wide bed, there was a heart made of roses, and in the middle was a swan folded with a white towel. On the table was a teardrop-shaped vase with heavenly fragrant lilies inside. All in all, this place was full of romance and surprises. Do you like it like this? Qin Chu asked as he gently hugged Huamin. Don't mention it. I came here to take a look and realize that we're not even in the sea. At most, it's a muddy lake. Upon hearing Huamin's complaint, Qin Chu couldn't help but laugh. You must be tired. Go take a shower first, we'll rest for a bit. Okay. Huamin nodded. Then, she turned around and went into the bathroom to take a warm bath. There was even rose essential oil in the water. The service was amazing. When she walked out in her bathrobe, she was very shy, because, logically speaking, something would happen between the two of them after they took a shower and were alone. Huamin thought that Mr. Qin wouldn't be able to control himself and would push her down. However, as soon as she came out, she was dumbfounded. Mr. Qin was probably exhausted. After changing into beach shorts and a white t-shirt, he fell asleep on the bed. His breathing was very light, and his eyelashes were beautiful. Huomin's favorite thing to see Qin sleep. It was quiet and beautiful. Huomin that she couldn't control herself. Along the way, Huomian and Jixin ate, drank, and slept when they were tired. Qin, on the other hand, wasn't as relaxed. After they got off the plane, he testes. Now, he could have a goods of S's sleep, S's sleep. All the houses were made of wood and were built on water. Therefore, Huomin's feet touched the water as she sat on the steps. The warm water wrapped around her white feet, and her heart was at peace like never before. Because Qin booked the entire island, other than the staff, there were no tourists. Looking at the blue sky and white clouds, and listening to the cries of seagulls, Huomin's mood was really lifted. Although she wanted to keep a low profile, she still wanted to take a picture and post it on her WeChat moments. She didn't take a selfie. Instead, she took a picture of the distant sea and posted it. The caption read, "May my heart be as peaceful as the sea." The location was automatically displayed, Maldives Paradise Island. Now, it was like a bomb. You heartless person, I can't believe you went to the Maldives without telling anyone. Zhu Lingling had just gotten off the plane and was about to take a shower and sleep when she saw Huomin's hateful photo. I got on the plane and didn't know I was coming. It was all arranged by Mr. Qin, Huomin replied with a smile. I'm so jealous. Why is Mr. Qin so nice? Why don't I have anyone to take me there? You can come with Gao Ran. Come on, it's hard for him to even ask for a day off. It's not realistic for him to come with me to the Maldives. To her surprise, as soon as Zhu Lingling finished complaining, Gao Ran replied, If I go with you, will you live stream yourself eating shit? Chapter 842. Upon seeing this, Huomin almost spat out his coke. Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling, could they not be so funny? Why wasn't there anyone normal around her? She originally thought that Jiang Xiaowei and Wei Liao were normal. However, she later found out that they were the cliched type. They got engaged, got pregnant, and got married without any warning. Huomin was shocked. A couple with a poisonous tongue and a shocking couple. From the looks of it, she and Mr. Qin were the only normal couple. Just then, someone else commented, Oh, the girl went on her honeymoon? Huoxiqian commented. Huomin was too lazy to reply. The night was long, and Huoxiqian was annoyed to see the Huo family at home. Therefore, he decided to go out and drink. Su Yu and Tang Chuan also came out to relieve their boredom. They bumped into each other and booked a private room together. Huoxiqian laughed as he held his phone. This girl has always been so low-key. She even went on her honeymoon without telling anyone. Su Yu didn't say anything and just drank quietly. Where did she go? Tang Chuan was the one who wanted to talk. The Maldives. Mr. Rich Qin chartered an entire island. My sister went to enjoy life. Huoxiqian's words had a hint of jealousy in them. The Maldives is great. Qin has good taste. Tang Chuan also liked to go to the Maldives and went there every year. Every year, different women would go on vacation. Wei Liao once teased him, saying that he was like a human trafficker. Really? It's just a small island in Indonesia? The Indonesians are very anti-Chinese. Su Yu said sourly. Oh, Lord Su, when did you become so patriotic? You speak as if you have never been there before. Tang Chuan laughed. I'll go to Tahiti in the future. That's beautiful, Su Yu said to himself. Actually, in his heart, he wanted to fly to the Maldives. If he and Huomin were to go there, they would probably die of happiness, right? Su Yu stared blankly with a glass of wine in his hand. Qin only slept for 2 hours before he woke up. Then, the two of them changed into couples' outfits and went to the beach for a barbecue. 15 people sat around a big table. It was very lively. Dozens of waiters were serving them. Jixin had a surprisingly good appetite and kept eating. He was still a child after all. Sis, try this octopus meatball. It's so delicious and authentic. Jixin was fascinated by everything he ate and didn't mention his breakup. Honey, we brought this burden on this trip. Is he just here to eat? Huomin looked at Qin with a smile. There are already a lot of burdens this time. One more doesn't matter, Xianxia replied. The other assistants and bodyguards all fell silent. Okay, they were all burdens for their boss and his wife. There were really a lot of burdens, he's joking. Let's eat and drink to our heart's content. Huamin covered his mouth and looked at everyone. What's the plan for tomorrow? Xianxia quietly looked at his assistant and asked. The female assistant shrewdly took out a schedule and placed it in front of Xianxia. Sir, this is the plan for you and Mrs. Qin. Tomorrow morning after breakfast, around 9:30 a.m., we will film one set. Then, we will have lunch and take a nap. In the afternoon, we will film 2 sets. One of them will be on the cruise so we can go out to sea. The day after tomorrow, we will film 3 sets. Xianxia looked at the schedule. It wasn't too rushed and was quite reasonable. Xianxia nodded. Huamin knew that everyone had worked hard this time. They had to lug a few large suitcases which contained the outfits that he and Xianxia would use for the photo shoot. Basically, they didn't bring anything with them. Everything was arranged by their assistants and bodyguards. This was a godlike experience. The local Indonesians weren't as bad as Xianxia thought. They only asked for tips because this place relied on tourism to begin with. They didn't have any other sources of income, so this was normal. They were very friendly. When they had a barbecue by the beach, an Indonesian barbecue chef even sang and barbecued the food. The atmosphere was very good. Everyone had a good time eating. After dinner, Xianxia held Huamin's hand and walked by the beach, enjoying the sea breeze. They wore couple outfits with short sleeves. They were all white and had Disney Mickey Mouse printed on them. Huamin was a Disney fan. Most of these outfits were carefully selected by his assistant according to his taste buds. Honey, Huamin said softly. Yeah. Xianxia tilted his head and looked at Huamin. Chapter 843. Thank you for bringing me to such a beautiful place. Thank you for bringing me to eat such delicious food. Thank you for bringing me such a big surprise. Huamin thanked Xianxia 3 times in a row. She wasn't being pretentious, she really wanted to thank him. Even though he was so busy, he was still able to plan all this to make Xianxia feel so touched. After many men got married, regardless of whether they were busy or not, they didn't want to waste time on their wives. This was because they felt that since she was already his and couldn't run away, there was no need for them to be so nice to her. However, Xianxia was the exact opposite. After they got married and started living together, he only treated Huamin better and better. There was only the best, nothing better. He doted on her so much that even Huamin's mother and brother felt that he was spoiling Huamin too much. However, such a man was always high and mighty in the eyes of others. He was a cold and indifferent king. He didn't give his smile to anyone, and he was stingy with his gentleness. Only Huamin could see his funny side. As long as he was outside, he would always wear that cold and arrogant mask. He only gave all of his love to Huamin. After Xianxia heard what she said, he looked at her gently. Then, he said softly, "Thank you for being willing to be my wife. Thank you for betting your life on me. Thank you for giving me the chance to take care of you in this life." Xianxia also thanked her 3 times. Huamin was extremely touched. She tiptoed and hugged Xianxia tightly. Then she kissed him. Late at night, the Maldives was brightly lit. The seaside was another beautiful scene. The sound of waves crashing against each other could be heard. The 2 of them kissed passionately under the night sky, as if they were the only 2 people in the world. It was so quiet and so beautiful. When they returned to the floating house, it was already past 9 p.m. The 2 of them took a shower. Then they lay on the bed. Xianxia hugged Huamin. "Honey, it's such a beautiful night. Don't you want to do something?" "Yes." "Honey, can you give me a massage?" "Just a massage." Huamin was slightly disappointed. "Then what else do you want?" Xianxia deliberately asked her. "No. Hey, hurry up and climb up. I'll give you a massage." Xianxia turned over and lay on his stomach on the bed. His sturdy back was exposed, and his perfect figure was on full display. There were technicians on the island, but Huamin would never allow another woman to touch her husband. She pretended to give Xianxia a massage. However, rather than calling it a massage, it was more like teasing, because her fingers were very light, they were moving around his back, it was a blatant provocation. "Honey, are you sure you want to give me a massage?" Qin Chu asked with a smile. "Mr. Qin, do you need any special service?" Huamin asked as he leaned against Qin Haodong's back. "What are the special services?" "Including anything you want." "Really?" Qin Chu asked. "Of course." Huamin was ecstatic that she succeeded in seducing Qin Haodong. "Okay, then can you pour me a cup of coffee, with ice, thank you." "Fuck off." Seeing that Qin Chu was so unromantic, Huamin flipped out. It was so obvious, okay? Therefore, she angrily got off him and tried to get off the bed. However, Qin Chu grabbed her, dragged her onto the bed, and pinned her down. "I was joking. Are you really mad?" Qin Chu laughed. "How can you joke like that? I was so proactive and you asked me to pour you a cup of coffee. I'm not a maid." Huamin felt wronged. She pouted and looked adorable. Qin Chu quickly coaxed her, "Then to make it up to you, let's do it all night, okay?" Huamin was speechless. Before she could protest, she completely melted under Qin Chu's gentleness. Chapter 844. The next morning, when Huamin woke up, his back was sore. Mr. Qin really did make it up to her. He didn't sleep much the entire night, as if he was tormented. She even suspected that he was on drugs. He was so energetic. "Honey, you're awake?" When Huamin woke up, it was already 9 a.m. Qin Chu had already video called HQ for a morning meeting and went for a run. "Yeah." Huamin was still sleepy. "Then let's go eat breakfast." "Okay." Huamin really regretted messing with Mr. Qin. Now he was in trouble, even walking felt like his legs were sore. More importantly, he couldn't complain. Who could he complain to about something like this? During breakfast, Jixin suddenly said, "Sis, you sent me a WeChat message yesterday." "Really?" Huamin didn't react much. She gave Huang Yu a chance and wanted to help her, but Huang Yu didn't want it. What else could she say? "Yeah, she said she doesn't want to work at the hospital anymore. She wants to leave and move to the south with her parents." "Oh." Huamin nodded. "She also asked me where I plan to work after graduation," Jixin said as he chewed on his bread. "Then what did you say?" "I told her that I'm going to intern at my brother-in-law's company, but she didn't reply. I don't know what she wants. Does she want to get back together with me? What about you? Do you want to?" Huamin looked at Jixin and asked. "To be honest, of course I do. She's my first girlfriend, and I cherish our relationship. If she still wants to be with me, then I don't mind. Even if she betrayed you?" Huamin asked faintly. "She probably has her own difficulties." Jixin was still too naive and thought of everything too simply. "You and Huang Yu? I don't think it's possible. Don't even think about it. Go to school and work hard after you graduate. A man should act like a man. Don't just focus on love." Huamin lectured. "I know, sis." Jixin lowered his head and continued to eat when he saw that his sister was about to give another long lecture. Qin Chu never interfered with the matters between the two of them. After all, this was a private matter. After breakfast, Jixin wandered around the island while Huamin and Qin Chu changed their clothes, put on their makeup, and began taking their wedding photos. She knew that taking photos was tiring, but she didn't know it was so tiring that she had to take 70 to 80 photos of a single set of clothes. Fortunately, the team members were very supportive. They did everything quickly and did not waste any time at all. During the break, there were people holding umbrellas and people passing them water. This service was really unparalleled. "A young lady, if you're tired, we can rest for a while more. What do you think of my expression just now? Isn't her smile very fake? I'm really afraid that I won't get a good shot." "No, I think it's very good. You'll know when we fix the samples tonight." Just then, she received a WeChat message on her phone. Huamin opened it and saw that it was from Ni Yang. Because when they went abroad, their phones all had international roaming, so the internet wasn't restricted. "Sister Huamin, I heard that you and President Qin went to the Maldives?" "Yeah." "When are you coming back?" In 2 or 3 days. Do you need something? Yeah, there's something I want to talk to you about. Okay, I'll come find you when I get back. She put down the phone and wondered what it was. That kid, Yang, wouldn't look for her so easily? Could it be that he found out about her relationship with Xie Wan and Shui Shui? After a whole day of shooting, Huamin was exhausted. She soaked herself in the bathtub and refused to come out. When her phone rang, it was Qin Chu who brought it to her. It was a strange and unfamiliar number. Huamin, it's me. A woman's voice sounded very familiar. Chapter 845. Xiaoxue? Huamin immediately recognized Wu Xiaoxue's voice. I'm really sorry. I should have called you earlier, but after I came here, I couldn't get used to it. So I was in a hurry and had to go through a lot of complicated procedures every day. How about now? Are you done? Yeah, I'm done. How are you? I'm fine. How about you? I'm fine too. The air here is good. My parents are here to help me take care of the baby. I plan to go to work soon. That's great. I heard about you from President Wu. I'm really happy for you. I also heard from Uncle Wu that you're a doctor now. Congratulations. Thank you. Ningzi, have you seen him recently? Wu Xiaoxue suddenly asked. Yeah, he came to Southside to see me a while ago. He asked me to lend him 100,000 yuan, but I didn't. Don't lend it to him, Wu Xiaoxue reminded him again. What's wrong? Do you know what he's doing now? Huamin felt like Wu Xiaoxue knew more than he did. He's still with He-Man. They're both addicted to gambling and lost a lot. Ning Ziyuan's house wasn't even rented out. It was mortgaged. He's a useless person now. No matter how much money you give him, he'll lose it all. How did that happen? Huamin was a little surprised. It's because He-Man became like this after she got together with him. I knew nothing good would happen when she hung out with him. Before I left the country, I hired a private investigator. He-Man is also a gambler and owes a lot of money. They seem to be loan sharks too. They've been hiding in the colored steel house in the civilian district. It's so despicable. When we got divorced, he even threatened me that if I didn't compensate him, he wouldn't sign my divorce papers. Did you give him any? Huamin was a little worried. Of course not. I'm not that stupid. I'll give him whatever he wants. Our family paid for the house and the car. We even paid for the wedding banquet. Why should I give it to him? Seriously, how did things come to this? Forget it, it's all my fault. I won't tell Xinyue that her father is such a person. We don't plan to go back either. Upon hearing Wu Xiaoxue's words, Huamin felt quite bad. Uncle and Auntie Ning came looking for me before. They brought a lot of eggs and said they wanted to see their granddaughter, but they didn't know you were overseas. Ning Ziyuan's sins have implicated his elderly parents. It's really disappointing. This is fate. No one can be blamed. Okay, the baby is crying, I'll call you back. All right. After hanging up the phone, Huamin closed his eyes and thought about life. In fact, she felt a little guilty at first because she felt that if she hadn't broken up with Ning Ziyuan, perhaps his life wouldn't be so miserable. But after thinking about it, even if she married him, he would still choose this rotten path. So, was she going to end up like Wu Xiaoxue? Therefore, she couldn't say that she harmed Ning Ziyuan. She could only say that Ning Ziyuan had a good hand and played it badly. If he had been a good man after marrying Wu Xiaoxue, wouldn't it have been great if he had 2 doctors, a happy family, and a baby? In other words, if she had gone to the States with Qin Chu, Ning Ziyuan wouldn't have appeared. So, everything that happened now wasn't man-made. It was all predestined. What are you thinking about? Why are you spacing out? Qin Chu walked into the bathroom. I was thinking about the past. Huamin was obviously not in a good mood when she said this. I thought you were thinking about why I was so energetic last night. Did I take medicine? Qin Chu teased her on purpose. Huamin immediately covered her face with her hands. My back and legs are still sore, Huamin complained shyly. I have a way to help you, Qin Chu said mysteriously. What way? Huamin always felt that every time Mr. Qin laughed, he would say something shocking. Chapter 846. As it turned out, her instincts were right, because what Qin Chu said was, "Let's do it again tonight and fight poison with poison. You'll be fine by tomorrow morning." Fuck you, Huan Min wanted to cuss. They had only done it once tonight, and her entire body was about to fall apart. How could she be fine? Did he really think she was a 3-year-old kid? Time always flew by on vacation. They spent 3 mesmerizing nights in the Maldives and 4 incredibly beautiful days. They took several stunning wedding photos, went out to sea, and went on a cruise. It was a luxurious life. Before they left, Huan Min was still reluctant to leave and kept looking back. "Honey, do you like it here?" And Huan Min nodded obediently. "Then let's come here once a year, okay?" Qin Chu lovingly patted her head. After they got on the plane, Huan Min kept looking down. Looking down from the sky, the beautiful paradise island was like a crystal-clear teardrop in the ocean. It was breathtakingly beautiful. The Maldives was a place that everyone wanted to visit a second time after their first visit. Huan Min was no exception. If they had time in the future, they really wanted to come here a few more times. After more than 10 hours of flight and 2 transfers, they finally returned to Sea City. Qin Chu took a nap on the plane and went straight to GK after they got off. It was already 3 in the afternoon. Huan Min and Jixin were driven back to Sky Blessing Court by the company's chauffeur. When they passed by the duty-free shop in X City, Huan Min bought a lot of makeup and a jade bracelet for his mother. Yang Meirong was in a great mood when she saw her children return. That night, she cooked more than 10 dishes. Huan Min took out his phone and walked to the balcony to call Ni Yang. "Sister Huan, is it convenient to talk now? I'm back in China. I'm reading a script. It's convenient. What's wrong? You seem to be in a hurry to find me?" Huan asked. "Recently, I've not been feeling very well. My body has shown some symptoms. I don't know if it's because I've taken too many psychotropic drugs, so I wanted to ask you." Ni Yang rarely went to the hospital for treatment because of his identity. Basically, after knowing Huan Min, he had already treated her as his personal doctor. "What's the situation? Tell me." "It's just that my stomach doesn't feel well. Sometimes I feel nauseous and weak all over." "Why do you look like you're pregnant?" Ni Yang, "Sister Huan Min, can't we have a nice chat?" "Of course. Go on, I'm listening." Huan Min smiled. "Then my abdomen hurts sometimes. Recently, I often have diarrhea. Did you eat something you shouldn't have?" Huan Min asked. "No, I haven't eaten anything lately. I only eat simple rice porridge, but I still feel like this." "Then is it indigestion? Do you take medicine to strengthen your stomach?" "I did, but it didn't work. In fact, it's gotten worse these days." "How about this, what's your schedule tomorrow?" "Tomorrow? I have a scene to shoot in the afternoon. I have the morning off. Come to Southside in the morning. I'll take you for a checkup." Ni Yang nodded. "Okay, then you should go to bed early." "Okay." After hanging up the phone, Huan Min walked to the dining room. Seeing the table full of food, she was so happy that she could die. "Mom, you actually bought me crabs. I love you so much." Looking at the dozen or so big crabs on the table, Huan Min couldn't be happier. "Sis, are you okay? Didn't we eat crabs every day in the Maldives? Haven't you had enough? Aren't you tired of it?" "No, I can eat seafood for 3 meals a day. It's not a problem." "Okay, you win." Jixin was speechless. "Call Qin Chu and ask him if he's coming back for lunch," Yang Meirong instructed. "Okay." When Qin Chu's phone rang, he was in the middle of a meeting in the conference room. The atmosphere was tense. Qin Chu had been in the Maldives for 5 days, and when he came back, he was faced with a huge mess. "So, you guys don't have any self-awareness when I'm not here? You guys think you can relax since you're all paid a salary, right?" It was Qin Chu's first time scolding the higher-ups. Yang was so scared that he didn't dare to say anything. Chapter 847. President Qin, we tried our best. It's not our fault that we couldn't get the project, the marketing director complained fearlessly. Then is it my fault? Qin Chu asked coldly. The entire room fell silent again. The president was furious. Just then, his phone rang. Everyone looked at their phones with sympathy, wondering which idiot was calling at this time. Surprisingly, when Qin Chu looked down and saw the caller ID, his gaze softened. He picked it up. "Honey, my mom's cooking. Are you coming home to eat?" "No, I'm in a meeting." "I'll pick you up later." Huamin didn't waste any more time and hung up. Qin Chu's gentle tone really made everyone's jaws drop. They looked at each other and finally came to a tacit understanding. It must have been a young lady who called, or else President Qin wouldn't be like this. "I'll give you 3 days to clean up your mess. After 3 days, either show me your results or hand in your resignation letters." With that, Qin Chu left with a cold face. All the higher-ups were worried. They always thought that President Qin was easier to talk to than Chairman Qin and treated his employees better. They didn't expect him to be so scary when he lost his temper. Qin Chu didn't like the servility of Chinese people. When the boss was home, they worked hard. When he wasn't home, they slacked off. That wasn't good. Since they were paid well, they had to behave. No boss liked to hire a bunch of idle people for free. After returning to his office, Qin Chu turned on his computer and continued to work. "President Qin, here's your coffee." Assistant Yang carefully brought the coffee over. "I'll give you a vacation starting tomorrow." "Sir, you're not going to fire me, are you? What did I do wrong?" Assistant Yang was so scared that his legs turned to jelly. Giving him a vacation out of the blue was too scary. "You're thinking too much. It's just that when I was on vacation, you worked overtime almost every day. I saw how hard it was. You're a father and a husband. You have to spend time with your wife and child. Take a week off. It's not considered annual leave. I'm giving you extra time. Come back to work after a week." "Thank you, President Qin." Assistant Yang was so excited that he wanted to die. His wife had been depressed and said that she wanted to take the baby home. However, Yang's wife was from the south and went to university in the north, so her family was very far away. Yang was still worried about her bringing the child home alone. Now that the boss had spoken, he was so happy that he almost jumped up. "Go ahead. Get off work early today." "Then what about you?" Yang was worried that the boss would be too busy. "I can transfer someone over to help temporarily." "Okay, thank you, boss. Call me if you need anything." Little Yang left the company as fast as the wind. Qin Chu sank into his dull work again. Song Yisher had called Qin Chu once. When she learned that he was in the Maldives, she did not say much. At 7 p.m., everyone at GK was still working overtime. Song Yisher drove past and went up to the top floor. "President Qin, Miss Song is here," the female secretary in the secretary's office reported over the intercom. "Let her in." The reason why Qin Chu had always been kind to Song Yisher was not because of their childhood memories. It was because Uncle Song took special care of him. "When I passed by, I saw that your office light was still on at the red light, so I guessed that you were back." Song Yisher smiled. "Yeah. How was your vacation in the Maldives? It was great, right?" "Yes." Qin Chu was still a man of few words. "You haven't eaten yet, right? What do you want to eat?" "I'll go out and buy it for you," Song Yisher said gently. Chapter 848. "It's okay, I'm not hungry," Qin Chu immediately refused. Song Yisher felt a little awkward. Then she asked, "Where's Huamin? Why don't I see her?" "She's tired, so she went home to rest." "Oh, speaking of which, I do miss her." "Yisher, I'm busy, I don't have time to talk to you. It's okay, I'll sit here for a while. I'm bored anyway." However, Song Yisher had no intention of leaving. She realized that it was getting harder and harder to get close to Qin Chu, especially when Huamin was by his side. Qin Chu's gaze never left Huamin. Therefore, it was rare that Huamin wasn't around today. She wanted to seize the opportunity to spend some time alone with Qin Chu. Even though he felt that he was a little immature, he didn't care too much. Opportunity was the most important thing. The female secretary brought in a cup of coffee and placed it on the coffee table. "Miss Song, your coffee." "Thank you." Song Yisha then secretly took a photo of Qin Chu and posted it on her WeChat friend circle. When a person is serious about work, their charm will multiply. Some people began to leave comments below. A few socialites who were on good terms with Song Yisha already knew about Qin Chu's feelings. Therefore, they began to fan the flames. Sure, you went to see Prince Charming Qin? Sister Sure, you guys are a good match. His wife isn't that great. Prince Charming Qin has no blind spots. I'm not exaggerating. A girl next to Tang Chuan happened to have Song Yisha's WeChat. They added each other at the cocktail party the other day. Song Yisha was very good at social media. Within a month of returning to China, she had already mingled with the upper class and had an excellent reputation. Of course, this had a lot to do with her father, Mayor Song. The daughter of the Song family is so ambitious. She's going to replace Qin Chu, the woman exclaimed. Tang Chuan immediately leaned forward to take a look, then looked at Su Yu and said, "This is what a real mistress looks like." It's already so late at night, but she still posted a photo of the two of them together. I wonder how Huamin will feel when he sees this. Su Yu fiddled with the lighter and didn't say anything. No one knew what he was thinking. Lord Su, do you want to send a screenshot of the photo to Huamin? You don't want such a good opportunity? Tang Chuan didn't understand. Since she liked Huamin, why not destroy it? I won't do such a disgraceful thing. Lord Su replied proudly. Qin Chu didn't know that Song Yisha had posted something on her WeChat moments, and neither did Huamin. However, Hua Xiqin knew. He also had Song Yisha's WeChat. Song Yisha is a funny woman, but I'm looking forward to seeing how she and my little sister fight. It'll be a fierce battle. Then, he reached out and spun the globe on his desk with a smile. I bet 1 yuan that my Mian will win. Huamin had eaten his fill at Sky Blessing Court and was lying on the sofa watching a TV show. Suddenly, he saw Zhixin come downstairs. It's so late, are you going out? A classmate called me for his birthday, Zhixin said as he walked. Come back early, don't drink too much. I know, sis. You're as naggy as mom. Then, Jing Zhixin opened the door and left in his Bumblebee sports car. Zhixin went out again? Yeah, he probably went out with his classmate. Zhixin had always been obedient, so Huamin didn't think much of it. 40 minutes later, Huamin received a call from Zhixin. He sounded like he was about to cry. Sis, come quickly. Help me save you. Upon hearing Yu's name, Huamin panicked. Could it be that Zhixin didn't go to his classmate, but to Huang Yu? But the people around Huang Yu, Huamin suddenly sat up from the sofa. Zhixin, where are you? On the top floor of Sky Domain. Hey, wait for me. Huamin hurriedly put on his shoes and ran out, not even hearing his mother talk to him. Sky Domain again, that place where good people mix together. Huamin really didn't want to go. He didn't know what happened to Zhixin on the way. Huamin didn't forget to call Qin Chu. Honey, I think something happened to Zhixin. He's on the top floor of Sky Domain. I'm on my way. Come over immediately and remember to bring someone. After saying this, Huamin hung up. Qin Chu also panicked. A place like Sky Domain was like a tiger's den. It was very dangerous for Huamin to go there alone. He wouldn't be as lucky as last time. Chapter 849. Are you going out? Song Yisha asked when she saw Qin Chu get up. Something urgent came up, I have to go now. After saying that, Qin Chu quickly went downstairs. Luckily, when Huamin arrived, Qin Chu arrived as well. He held her hand. Stay behind me, don't wander off. Huamin nodded. When the two of them arrived at the top of the Sky Domain building, they saw a bloody scene. Zhixin was beaten to a pulp. He knelt on the ground, his face covered in blood. Huamin was so heartbroken that tears fell from her eyes. Help me, you. Zhixin was beaten so badly, but he was still thinking about Huang Yu. Qin Chu looked up and saw Huang Yu sitting on the edge of the rooftop. Her clothes were tattered, as if someone had ripped them apart. 7 or 8 big tattooed men stood there. The man from the other day stepped on Zhixin's back. Bitch, I finally found you. Today, I can finally get my revenge for kicking me that day. The man glared viciously at Huamin. Don't hurt my brother. Let's talk. Why would I talk to you? After speaking, the man went up and kicked Zhixin. Zhixin let out a muffled grunt from the kick to his lower abdomen. It must have been excruciating pain. Honey. Huamin was anxious. She held Qin Chu's hand, not knowing what to do. When Qin Chu was by her side, she couldn't keep her cool. Let my brother go. How much money do you want? Do you think you're so great just because you have some money? I have money too. I've been in the underworld for years and have more money than you. I don't care about your money. The tattooed man obviously didn't know Qin Chu, nor did he know who he was. Then what do we have to do to make you let him go? It's simple. Get your woman to take off all her clothes and sing "Conquer" for us. Who knows, maybe I'll let him go if I'm happy. After saying that, the burly men burst into laughter. A cold light flashed in Qin Chu's eyes. If you don't want to die, let him go. Don't force me to do it. Huamin held tightly onto the silver needles that she always carried with her. She really wanted to go over and stab that tattooed scumbag to death right now. Paralyze him. Don't fucking scare me. There are only two of you. Who's afraid of you? The man smiled indifferently. Zhixin treats you so well. Why did you set him up? Huamin shouted at Huang Yu, who was sitting on the edge of the rooftop. But she didn't turn around, nor did she say anything. Huamin was very angry. She said that she wanted to protect Zhixin for his own good. Why did she set up a trap to lure Zhixin here? Are you talking to that bitch? She ate something good and is still having an orgasm. She won't answer you. You was fed something by them. She's delirious now. Hurry and save her. Zhixin yelled with all his might. Only then did Huamin realize that Huang Yu ate XX. At this thought, she sucked in a breath of cold air. I can't agree to your demands. You better let him go. Otherwise, no one will leave here alive today. Qin Chu said word by word. Every word was so cold and emotionless. Huamin had never seen Qin Chu look so scary. Kid, are you trying to scare us? Do you think we're that easy to scare? The tattooed man continued to mock Zhixin and even put more force on his foot. Qin Chu didn't waste any more time. He reached into his pocket and took out something. Then he aimed it at the tattooed man. At this moment, everyone was silent. Huamin looked at Qin Chu in shock. He actually had a gun. It was a black gun that exuded a terrifying aura in the night. Brother Wei, this kid has a gun? The others were a little scared. Are you trying to scare me? You think you can save someone with a toy gun? Do you think I'm an idiot? I won't be fooled by you. Before the tattooed man could finish, there was a bang. Qin Chu suddenly pulled the trigger and shot him in the right side of his chest. Immediately, a bloody hole appeared. The tattooed man lowered his head in shock. Looking at his bleeding wound, he couldn't say a word. I don't like to talk nonsense. You have 3 seconds to let him go, or I'll kill you this time. Honey, don't be impulsive. Huamin was a little scared. She wanted to save her brother, but she didn't want Qin Chu to kill anyone. Chapter 850. The tattooed man was just a hooligan and had never seen such a scene. He was so scared that his legs turned to jelly. Huamin took the opportunity to run up and help Zhixin up. Qin Chu pointed his gun at the man, his eyes cold. Bro, you were shot? The thugs were scared out of their wits. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and take me to the hospital. The tattooed man and 6 or 7 thugs ran away, but Qin Chu didn't chase after them. Because after they went downstairs, they were taken away by Gao Ran. He believed that Gao Ran would take care of the shooting. Zhixin, how are you? Huamin felt bad for his brother. Sis, help me check on you. Zhixin was covered in wounds, but he still cared about Huang Yu. Huamin turned around and grabbed Yu's arm unexpectedly. Her body leaned forward, and she jumped down. Laughing, she shouted, I finally have wings. I can fly now. Because she was too fast, Huamin only managed to grab one of her arms. Then she jumped down and hung on the rooftop, almost pulling Huamin down with her. She was too strong and too heavy, man. Qin Chu was so scared that his face turned pale. He immediately ran over and hugged Huamin tightly. Jixin also quickly got up and helped Qin Chu pull her up. In the end, the two men used their strength together and pulled Huang Yu, who almost jumped off the rooftop. Just now, if Huamin was one step slower, Huang Yu would have been smashed into pieces. Even the gods wouldn't be able to save her. Luckily, Huamin reacted fast enough and held her back. Look at me. Jixin kept shaking Huang Yu. However, her eyes were dull, and she didn't react at all. She just smiled foolishly and drooled. It looked especially terrifying. Huamin comforted him. Her brain is still under the influence of drugs. It's useless for you to shout. She needs to go to the hospital to get a sedative and wait until she wakes up. Then, Huamin and Qin Chu took Huang Yu and Jixin to the first hospital. This time, Jixin was beaten up even more badly than the last time. Luckily, he wasn't seriously injured. It was just a superficial wound, so it was a little more painful. On the other hand, Huang Yu's test results were more shocking. Huamin, come out for a moment. The doctor mysteriously called her to the side. Because they were all colleagues at the first hospital and Huang Yu was an employee here, they were familiar with each other. What's the situation with Huang Yu now? How are you? Huamian asked worriedly. We've already given him a sedative. His emotions have stabilized, but... The female doctor paused. Dr. Wang, what do you want to say? Her urine test was positive because there's something similar to Bingdu in her body. We'll have to wait for the test results to come out. But there's something else that really shocked me. What? Huamin had a bad feeling about this. We found 3 types of Bingdu in her lower body. We're not sure if she was coerced, willing, or drugged. I suggest that we call the police and let them investigate. What? Huamin was dumbfounded. The results of the doctor's report showed that Huang Yu had sex with at least 3 men. This was simply too outrageous. Huamian guessed that after being drugged, her mind was being controlled. Those scumbags, they can die 1,000 times over. Huamin cursed with tears in his eyes. Qin Chu saw that Huamin was in a bad mood. He walked over and patted her shoulder to comfort her. Sis, how's you? What did the doctor say? Jixin cared a lot about Huang Yu. First, tell me what happened at Tianyu before I arrived. Huamin stared into Jixin's eyes and asked. Chapter 851. I was afraid that you would be in danger, so I went. When I got there, I saw them dancing in a private room with several men surrounding you. Her clothes were in tatters and she was in a mess. I tried to take her away, but she didn't listen to me. Then the tattooed man hit me, and they dragged me to the rooftop. Then I saw you trying to jump off the building. I wanted to stop them, but they hit me again. That's why I called you. Jixin described everything that happened that night, word for word. Huamin listened quietly. Sis, how is you? She was sedated and is asleep now. Her life is not in danger. That's good, that's good. Jixin felt a lot better after hearing what his sister said. But her urine test came back positive. I knew it. Those scumbags hurt you and fed her those bad things. I'm going to kill them. Jixin turned around to leave after speaking, but Huamin pulled him back. Come back, they've been arrested. Your brother-in-law has arranged everything. Don't worry. Jixin immediately looked at Qin Chu when he heard this. Qin Chu nodded, indicating that Huamin was right. He wasn't that impulsive. He stopped and stood beside Huamin. The test results also revealed something shocking. Huamin said slowly. What is it? Jixin looked up at his sister with his clear eyes, looking a little confused. Huamin didn't have the heart to tell Jixin the truth, but Jixin was an adult. She couldn't hide it from him forever, therefore, she decided to tell him, even if it was a blow. We found more than 3 types of steroids in her body. That's impossible, Jixin said without hesitation. I can't believe it either, but it's true. You have to accept it. I don't believe it. You isn't that kind of person. She's not. She's a good girl. Jixin was obviously shocked. He yelled loudly, not caring if the other person was his sister or not. I know she's a good girl, but this is the result of the test. I suspect that she's under the influence of drugs. Bastards, I'm going to kill them. Jixin rushed down like a madman. Qin Chu immediately ran up to Jixin and held him in his arms. Brother-in-law, let go of me. Jixin, don't be impulsive. They've already been arrested and brought to the police. I won't let them get out. Why are you doing this to you? Why is that? That night, Jixin cried, and his tears ants. When he was in the Maldives, he was happy that Huang Yu had sent him a WeChat message. But he simply couldn't accept this result. That night, Jixin didn't leave the ICU. He watched over Huang Yu the entire time. Huamin was worried about his brother and didn't want to leave. Qin Chu quietly stayed with her. In the end, she was so sleepy that she slept on Qin Chu's shoulder for a while. 6 a.m., Huang Yu woke up. The first thing she saw was Jixin, and her expression was complicated. What happened to me? Her voice was weak. Don't you remember what happened yesterday? Jixin asked softly. I remember yesterday. I drank a lot of alcohol. They made me drink a lot of alcohol and a strange kind of alcohol. I felt dizzy after drinking it. I remember dreaming that I had wings and wanted to fly. They didn't give you alcohol. They gave you drugs, Huamin said slowly. What? Huang Yu froze. Sis. Jixin didn't seem to want Huang Yu to know about this. We can't hide the truth. She has the right to know. Senior sister, what happened to me? Why are you all here? Huang Yu didn't seem to remember what happened after that. She also didn't remember calling Jixin. Chapter 852. You. Just as Huamin was about to speak, Jixin interrupted. You were set up by them. They drugged your drink and made you delirious. I received a call from you, so I came over with my sister and took you to the hospital. You stayed there the whole night. What about Yuan Ziwei and the others? Huang Yu asked. Huamin guessed that the tattooed man was the Yuan Ziwei that Huang Yu mentioned. So he continued, they were arrested on suspicion of kidnapping and intentional assault. No, you can't arrest them. Huang Yu seemed very agitated. You, what's wrong? Jixin didn't know what to do. Those people have accomplices. Their accomplices will take revenge on me. They will go to my house and hurt my parents. Why are you meddling in other people's business? Who asked you to come? Who asked you to call the police to arrest him? Huang Yu's mental state was very unstable. She kept struggling to get out of bed, ignoring the 4 in her hand. Huamin's heart sank when he heard her say that he was nosy. Was this still the lively and cute little junior sister from before? Was she still the good colleague who was willing to stand up for him when he was framed? Was she still that cheerful, carefree, and innocent little girl who was always laughing all day long? Why did it feel like she had changed? You, what are you talking about? Do you know what those people would have done if my sister and brother-in-law didn't come? They almost killed you. Jixin looked at Huang Yu in disbelief. That's my business. What does it have to do with you? Jing Jixin, we've already broken up. Who do you think you are? Hurry up and leave. I don't want to have anything to do with you. You were drugged with Bing last night and went crazy. If Jixin didn't come to find you in time, you probably would have jumped off the building. He's worried about you and cares about you. Don't be so ungrateful. Huamin said angrily to her. I didn't die, did I? Who needs your help? Senior sister, I've already told you, don't worry about my matters. Those people are very scary, they will pester me for the rest of my life. My family will be in danger. This was what Huang Yu repeated over and over again. He didn't know if Huang Yu was frightened by those people or something else. In short, her mood was very unstable. How could you do this? My sister is just being nice. Jixin was speechless. Who wants your kindness? Leave quickly, I don't want to have anything to do with you. If he knows that I'm in contact with you, he'll beat me to death. With that, Huang Yu pushed Jixin and Huamin out of the ward. Huamin was completely speechless, Jixin was also dumbfounded. He didn't know why Huang Yu had changed so much in just 20 days. She was like a completely different person from before. It was as if he had a split personality. Sis, you guys should leave first. You and brother-in-law haven't slept all night. Jixin said in a haggard voice. What about you? Huamin looked at his younger brother with heartache. I'll stay here and watch over her. She's not very stable, so I want to take care of her. Jixin still couldn't let go of Huang Yu. Okay, be careful. She knew that she couldn't persuade Jixin, so she just let him be. Sis, don't tell Mom about this. If she asks, just tell her that I'm at school. Okay. Huamin nodded and then went downstairs with Qin Chu. It was already 6:40 a.m. Honey, let's go eat breakfast. I'm not hungry. I don't have much of an appetite. After what happened, Huamin completely lost his appetite. Then don't eat so much. Just treat it as eating with me, okay? Qin Chu carefully coaxed him. Finally, the two of them went to a Hong Kong-style breakfast place. They ordered crab roe buns, vegetable congee, and milk tea. You has changed so much. I don't know why, Huamin said gloomily. Don't think too much about it. I'll ask Gao Ran later. We'll know once he does the first check, Qin Chu comforted him. Okay. I'll take you home in a bit. Don't go to work today. Get some rest and get some sleep. I can't, I'm meeting in Aiyang today. Why are you meeting him? Mr. Qin was immediately jealous. You're tuning in to the Wang Lin's Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.